The Great Race runs 150 minutes. That was Jack Lemmon, who's just left a triumph on Broadway in tribute and will star in China Syndrome, and my guest in the Lion's Den. I'm Jeffrey Lyons.
Chicago's weather for the remainder of tonight, cloudy with rain likely, changing to snow. Snow during the early morning hours, the low around 30 degrees. For tomorrow, snow ending. And Weather Command says we could see an accumulation of between 1 and 2 inches. Our present reading downtown.
The Listener's Playhouse of the National Broadcasting Company proudly presents Parker Fenley, the distinguished actor, in his own sketch, Christmas Eve at Crump's. Mr. Fenley will be assisted by Miss Carol Peterson. Old Eli Crump is the meanest man in town. Why, Eli Crump is so mean that... Well, but wait, here's the play. This is a story of Christmas Eve and old Eli Crump. Now, you've probably never heard of old Eli Crump in all your life, but if you've ever driven through Sleepy Valley and asked, well, of course you wouldn't have asked such a question, but just supposing, you'd asked who was the meanest man in the village. Why, anybody there would have told you, and without giving your query a moment's thought, old Eli Crump. There's a narrow road leading north out of Sleepy Valley. It just kind of leads north for a ways, then it stops, a dead-end road. Well, at the end of that road, you'll find the Eli Crump place. Now, on Christmas Eve, as you'd naturally expect, there's snow on the roof of the weather-beaten house and the weather-beaten barn, and the remnants of a slushy snow on the roadway. But there's nothing else that's in the spirit of the Christmas season there. No tinsel tree, no wreaths in the windows, no stockings hung before a crackling fire by little children. None of these tokens of this happiest time of the year, none at all. Only old Eli Crump, the meanest old man in town, sitting by his kitchen table while Comfort Crump, his unmarried sister, sits nearby in a rocker knitting. Let's eavesdrop, shall we?
You didn't kill a chicken, did you, Eli?
42 and 40 carry makes 46. What chicken?
Well, I thought we might have a chicken for dinner tomorrow.
I can't eat chicken. Too hearty. Gives me the dyspepsy. 46 and 3 is 49.
Don't give me dyspepsy. Man knows I ought to be used to going without by this time. But Christmas don't ever seem like Christmas without a chicken or a turkey.
Turkey? My Godfrey, you talk like a millionaire. I ain't had a bite of turkey in 30 years. 52 and 7 makes 59.
Raised enough of them. Chickens, too, but we never get them.
I don't raise them for eating. Not when I can get money for them.
I don't know why other folks should have all the good things in the world.
Let them kill themselves, cramming their gullets with rich food like gluttons and wine bibbers, as the good book calls them. I don't care, long as they pay for it. Give me a good mess of corned beef and cabbage. Christmas Day or any other day. It's filling, and the price is somewhere near reasonable. 63 and 5 to carry.
Christmas only comes once a year.
Christmas don't mean nothing to me, except I always have trouble collecting my mortgage money the day after from that worthless whelp of Alonzo Puff. 68, that's right.
What in the world you adding up there over and over?
I guess you know what it is, all right. This grocery bill at Twynham's. I've been hoping they made a mistake in it, but I can't find none. You got to get rid of one of them fool tomcats of yourn. They eat as much as a human being. Cat meat runs into money.
I won't do it. Them 2 cats is all I got in this world, and I ain't going to give them up.
Nobody keeps 2 cats anymore, except people on relief. Now here, says cat meat 21 cents. Cat meat 11 cents. Liver for cats, 30 cents. Cats living like the royal family.
They're always as hungry as all get out when I give them their victuals.
You pamper them. Let them go catch a mouse or a chickadee. They got to learn we're living in lean times. Was this all the mail, this outrageous bill from the store?
No. There's another letter and the paper and an almanac from the fertilizer company.
Well, where? I want to see my mail when there is some. Unless it's more bills that's going to bankrupt me.
There it is right there. There's the paper and the other things is under it. Can't you see?
Well, I guess I got to get me a new pair of glasses. These has been cracked so long they've commenced to grow together again. Say, you know, this postage stamp ain't hardly canceled so you can see it tall. Steam it off the envelope tomorrow when you get the kettle boiling. I'll use that. Every penny counts in this administration.
Where's the letter from?
I ain't got her open yet. Give me time, will you? Zadok Blaisdell, what's he want? Says, Dear Neighbor Eli, as you know, I am again running for the office of Deputy Sheriff. Some of my political opponents are circulating lying reports about my letting those 2 prisoners escape from the county jail last month and suggesting that I was bribed. Knowing me, you will know better. Yeah, who will? Says, I hope that my many old friends will rally to support me in the coming special election and that I may be swept into office. Swept, yeah. All the dirt before the broom. If you can see your way clear to support me in my campaign and to use your influence with our fellow voters, I shall hope to be able to return the favor in some way. Yours for honest law enforcement, Zadok Blaisdell. Return the favor. Never even returned the hatchet he borrowed from me back when Cleveland was president. I tell you, the man that gets my vote has got to pay for it. Anyway, Zadok is dishonest, I'm afraid.
Hark.
I won't hark neither. His mother was one of them no-good hearses.
No, hark. I hear somebody,
Oh. What's anybody doing here tonight?
Listen, will you? Coming to the front door.
Messing up the piazza. I'll get rid of him.
No, you won't neither. I'll take this lamp.
No, don't.
You light the other one on the mantelpiece if you don't want to set in the dark.
Wasting kerosene. Now, if they're selling something, tell them we don't want none.
Oh, all right. Maybe they've lost their way.
If they just want drinking water, tell them to eat snow. How much did you tell him you'd charge him for the room?
$1.50 for the three of them.
You could have got two just as easy as not. That front chamber's a mighty pleasant room. Hair wreath on the mantel and stuffed loon and all. How big's the young one?
Just a mite of a thing. Bright enough. Bright as $1. He's a nice-looking man in a peaked sort of a way. Pale as a ghost. Said they'd been driving since early morning. Got on this road by mistake. Didn't have gasoline enough to go much further. I told them that you could let them have some, but they said they'd stay over until tomorrow anyway.
Well, I've got gasoline in the barn, yes. It's for sale, too, at a price. They won't get it at the regular rate, of course, under the circumstances.
I told them to get a good night's rest, and you'd help them out in the morning.
If they can pay for it.
I guess they can. He left his car out back of the house.
What's the female like?
Just a pretty little thing. They both of them looked dead tired. Except the little girl. She was wide awake. Guess likely she'd had a nap in the automobile.
You better keep her still in the morning. I ain't going to be waked up by no crying brat. If I don't sleep through till 5 o'clock, I get to feeling bad all the next day. What'd you do with the $1.50?
I got it. Right here in my apron pocket.
Better let me carry it. Can't be too careful with strangers in the house. I was just noticing here in the newspaper. Another fellow escaped from the state's prison at Thomaston. Some doctor. Country's overrun with criminals, seems like. I don't know what the world's coming to. Dishonesty and greed and avarice everywhere. Give me the $1.50, Comfort. That'll help pay for your cat meat. Well, come on, Comfort, will you? That's it. Wait. This dollar bill's tore. Well, maybe it's all right. All right, now go on to bed. I'm going to set up for a spell longer. I got some more figuring to do here.
Figuring? Don't you never think of nothing but money?
Lucky for you that I don't, or you'd be in the poorhouse.
I guess the good Lord would take care of me.
I'm doing his work, Comfort. I'm his humble worker in the vineyard, trying to carry out his wishes as I see 'em. Amen. Why else do you suppose I'd be kind and patient with you? Shut the door, will you? You're wasting the heat. 8 and 6 is 14 and 3 is 17. Cat meat. Animals living on the fat of the land and not bringing in nothing. $6% of 180 for 3 months is let's see, 6. That you, Comfort? What's the matter? You got heartburn? You ate too much.
It's me.
What?
I'm a little girl from upstairs.
What you doing awake?
I couldn't go to sleep. Are you the grandpa man?
Huh?
Are you the grandpa in this house?
No, and I ain't deef neither. You better go back to bed. I'm busy here. 6 times 3 is 8.
Do you suppose there are funny pictures in that paper on the table?
I didn't see none. Just a couple of senators. You better go back to your folks.
I guess you don't like little girls.
I don't.
Oh, that's too bad. I guess you must be sick. My daddy says that when people are cross like you, it's because they're sick. It's their metabolism. I think that's what he said. Metabolism.
How's he know?
He's a doctor, and he's a very good doctor, too. He didn't have no right to go to prison.
Prison?
Oh, I guess you didn't know that, did you? And I'm not supposed to tell either. My mommy said that I was never to tell anything about it to anybody. And don't you ever tell, will you?
What's your father's name?
Dr. Francis M. Conwell, M.D. We're going to get away into Canada tomorrow, and then maybe Alaska. Did you ever see any Eskimos?
No.
Did you ever see a whale?
Dr. Conwell, eh?
Or a polar bear?
No.
Don't you ever tell anybody, or I don't know what I'd do.
Your papa and mama asleep, are they?
Sound asleep. That's why I could come down to visit you without their hearing me. Did you ever see an igloo?
No, of course not. Was it the prison at Thomaston?
Yes. What are you doing?
I'm just looking at something in this newspaper here.
The senators?
No.
What's this thing here on the shelf? A radio?
Music box. Don't break it. Listen, you stay here for a minute, will you? I'm going out in the entryway.
Will it play music?
We don't ever play it no more. Yeah, here's a picture book you can look at till I get back. Don't tear it.
I'm always very careful with books. The Pirate of the Golden Cave. Have you got another little girl here?
No.
A little boy?
No. There was a little girl once. That's an old book. I won't be gone long.
My gracious. These are horrible-looking pirates, all right. Hello, Miss Pruitt? Yeah, get me Zadok Blaisdell, will you? No, Blaisdell, Zadok. Yeah. Dr. Conwell, eh? Hello, Zade? Eli Crump, yeah. Well, I just got your letter. Well, I've been gone all day. Now, I'm willing to give you my support. Maybe. It all depends. Wait, I ain't got no time for long stories. I think I know how you could put a feather in your bonnet before election. Yeah. How'd you like to get the credit for catching a prisoner escaped from Thomaston? Never mind where he is now. I ain't going to tell you too much over this telephone because there's 2 other people listening in, maybe 3. Oh, get off the line, Grandpa Stickles. I know you're on here. He's hung up now, I guess. Well, how about it, Zade? Would it be worth something to you? Yeah, how much? Oh, well, no, never mind. No, I wouldn't be interested in giving out no information for that much. But I'll tell you, if you was elected on the strength of it, I could use that woodlot your mother left you up opposite the burying ground. Well, never mind no maybes. Is it a dicker? All right. Now, don't say nothing about it, but supposing you drop in here to my place as soon as you can make it, huh? All right, then, yeah. Merry who? Oh, Merry Christmas. What's merry about it? All right. You said only a minute. It was a lot more than that. I kept looking at the clock.
That clock's fast. I was just seeing the doors and windows was locked out there.
Could we play the music now, Mr. I don't know what your name is.
Eli Crump.
Mine is Alice Jane Conwell, and I'm pleased to meet you.
Alice?
Alice Jane Conwell, and I'm very pleased to meet you. Well, what's the matter?
Nothing. I had somebody named Alice once. That was my little girl's name. 40 years ago.
Oh, and she isn't...
She died. And her mother died, too. Same year. Young one died on Christmas Day. Since then, I've hated Christmas and everything about it.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Here, you can use this handkerchief if you want to. It's one of my daddy's big ones, but he wouldn't mind. See? It's got his initials on it. And you've been all alone ever since?
Yeah.
My mummy says that Christmas is the lonesomest day in the year for anybody who's all alone. That's why she made up her mind that we were never going to be away from our daddy another one. Of course, she had me, but then you've got your sister, haven't you? The lady who rented us the room. That is your sister, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Comfort. I don't know why.
Well, you've always got her.
Won't go to the old people's home.
Where?
Oh, nowheres.
Anyway, you won't have to eat your turkey all by yourself tomorrow, will you?
No.
I just love Christmas. But of course, this time it won't be like other years, because there won't be any tree or presents.
But we've got my father back, and that's worth more than trees or dolls or anything, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Was your little girl awful sick a long time? Oh, I guess maybe you'd rather not talk about it.
She wasn't sick long. She went sudden. And her mother died 6 weeks afterwards of sorrow. Folks here said I killed the little one. Her mother blamed me, too. Oh, I don't know why I'm talking this way to you.
My mother says it helps people in trouble to talk about their sorrow. Never mind what people say. They say that about my daddy, too, in the town where we lived. But it isn't true. He gave the wrong medicine to an old lady.
Give the wrong medicine?
Told Mrs. Dutton. One night, he was all wore out. He had been up for 2 whole days and 2 whole nights. He was so tired, he must have just made a mistake.
Made a mistake?
Yes, but those other doctors in the big hospital were jealous of my daddy because he was such a wonderful surgeon, and they all turned against him. They said he'd been using narcotics. That's drugs. But it wasn't true. He was just tired, that's all.
And that's what he went to prison for?
Manslaughter. But it really wasn't a man at all. She was an old lady. Oh, I told you that, didn't I? Well, that's our family troubled. Maybe you'd like to tell me more about yours now. Your hand is shaking. You aren't sick, are you?
No.
Well, where are you going?
Nowheres. I'm just going to look out the window here.
For Sandy?
For who?
Santa Claus. I guess he never comes until after 12 o'clock, does he?
Santa Claus. I ain't thought about him for 40 years.
My goodness. You're pretty old, aren't you, Mr. Crump?
Yeah, I'm awful old.
Not 100. There's a car stopping in front of the house.
Yeah, so there is.
I don't believe that's Santa Claus, because he always comes with reindeer and sleigh, doesn't he?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe we're going to see reindeers in Alaska.
Listen, you just step into the buttery here for a minute, so... Come on, you'll be all right. Yeah, here's an apple for you. You can sit there on that peck measure. Leave the door open a crack if you want to, so you won't be scared of the dark. But don't you come out now, will you? I got to talk to this fellow that's coming all by myself.
All right. Don't you want me to see whoever it is?
I don't want him to see you. Keep still as a mouse now.
I will.
Well, how are you, Eli?
Say, Doc?
Merry Christmas.
Wipe your feet and sit down.
Well, I skited right over here after you telephoned.
Yeah, I see you did. Don't talk too loud. You'll wake up Comfort.
How is your sister?
I can't see no change.
Sick?
No.
Well, what do you know?
What about?
Well, about what you called me up about.
Oh, that.
I got the idea that you had something pretty interesting that you wanted to tell me, and you couldn't go into detail over the wire.
Oh, yeah. About that doctor fella that got away from Thomaston Prison.
Godfrey mighty. What do you know about him?
Why, I think I catch sight of him.
When did you?
Tonight, just a little while ago.
Yeah? What makes you think 'twas him?
Why, I tell you, I was coming home from my other place on Injun Hill. Look, you didn't wipe your feet, now you got wet all over that rug. I was coming home, and a fellow waylaid me and asked directions.
Which way was he going? Towards Canada?
No, he was going south. Said he wanted to get to Boston.
Well, what made you think 'twas this fella Cromwell?
Cornwell, not Cromwell. I recognized the picture in the paper here when I got home. And besides, the other fellow with him called him Doc.
Other feller?
Yeah, there was another man with him in the team.
Team?
Pair of roans and a long wagon. And I heard this second fellow called him Doc.
Oh, well, I don't know. He was supposed to have been seen in a car with a woman, the way I got it.
Yeah, this was him, all right. I got a good look at him. He got out of the wagon to kind of stretch his legs, and I looked him square in the face. Just like the picture in the Evening Star there. Besides, there was something else.
What?
He took a map out of his pocket while we was talking, and after he drove away, I picked up this handkerchief he'd pulled out with it. It was clean as a whistle, and I figured he owed something to me for my telling him the road, so I kept it. Look in the corner of it there. F.H.C. Francis H. Cornwell. And that's what the paper says his name is.
Gory mighty. I guess you're right. If I can get him before somebody else does, it'll mean 2 more years in office.
You better get started.
He was on the Indian Hill Road headed towards Lisbon.
That's right, yeah.
Pair of roans.
And a man with a patch over his eye.
Patch over his eye? You never told me that.
I just thought of it. Big black patch. Better take your gun.
Well, I got it out in the car. 2 pair of handcuffs. Eli, if I get him, it'll mean a lot to the both of us. There's some good timber on that lot up there by the graveyard.
All right. We can talk about that later on. You better get going.
I guess I had. Duty calls, as they say. It's kind of too bad to be out on an errand like this on Christmas Eve.
Better the day, the better the deed.
That's right. And the law's the law. If I capture him, you'll get yours. Well, that is, if it gets me elected again. If I can just catch sight of him.
Yeah, all right, if you can, yes.
Well, here's hoping. Happy Noel, as the Christmas cards say.
Shut the door, the wind's cold.
Real Christmas weather. Good night.
All right, you can come out now. Well, you was still as a mouse, all right, wasn't you? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
I think, if you'll excuse me, you told a lie. Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, I've told a lot of them in my time.
I don't think anybody should ever tell a lie on Christmas Eve.
No, I guess maybe you're right. Nobody should, likely.
And why did you?
Because I thought I ought to help your folks and you get away to Canada.
Alaska.
Well, Alaska. Wherever it is your papa wants to get to.
Why did that man come here anyway?
Why,
Was he a policeman?
Sheriff. I told him to come. On the telephone a while ago.
After my daddy?
After your daddy. I didn't know about your daddy when I telephoned for him. I mean, I didn't know what kind
You
of...
thought he was a bad man.
That's right, yeah.
Before I told you.
Before you told me. I sent him out on kind of a wild goose chase so the 3 of you can get away from this town anyway without getting catched.
It was a pretty bad lie, I think. But I don't believe God will blame you.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think...
You think what?
Was it because my name was Alice and because you had a little girl named Alice once upon a time?
Partly. And partly because what your daddy done was like something I done once myself. Something that spoiled my life. And killed somebody who shouldn't never have died. 2 somebodies.
I guess I don't know for sure what you're talking about.
Never mind.
If you still have that handkerchief of my father's, I think you ought to wipe your eyes.
I got kind of a cold, I guess. That was pretty good about this handkerchief, wasn't it? That fooled him.
There never was any man with a tea masking the way to Boston, was there?
Not that I know of.
Or a man with a patch over his eye?
No patch.
That pirate in your picture book has one over his eye, too.
Yeah, that's where I got the idea.
You're a funny man. But I know the whole Dr. Conwell family is very grateful to you for your bad lies.
Well,
Would you like to have me sit in your lap and show you the picture book?
why, I
I don't mind reading it to you a bit.
Well, all right.
Here's the book. Now, if you put that music box on the table here, where we could reach it, maybe we could listen to the music after we read the book through.
Through?
I'm not a bit sleepy. Not one tiny bit.
Maybe you'd rather hear the music box play first, huh?
Whichever you prefer.
Yeah, well, I'll put it here on the table.
Does it have to be wound up?
Turn this handle. Yeah, you do it. A little more. That's enough.
Now, if you'd like to sit in this big chair here, I could sit in your knee and see the book nicely.
Well, all right. Oh, dear. Up with you.
Am I too heavy for you?
No, heavy. Don't weigh as much as a cat.
I love cats, don't you?
Well,
Do you have a cat?
my sister's got 2 of them.
Oh, gracious. That's just twice as good as one.
Yeah.
Now, shall we start the music?
Push that little thing there.
This?
Yeah.
How many tunes does it play?
Just one. It was only a cheap music box.
Oh, I like that. It doesn't sing, does it?
No.
Do you know the words of that song?
Yep. I ain't heard that music box for a long, long time. She used to like to hear that tune. My little girl, when she was here.
What's the name of it?
Sweet Alice, Ben Bolt. She used to play it over and over. Her mother liked it, too. But after they went, I never played it again.
Until now.
Yep.
You're thinking of your little girl again, aren't you?
She was just about as big as you, and
Maybe you'd like to read the book with me. It might kind of take your mind off your troubles. I guess I never should have asked to hear the music.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. I'm glad you did.
I think you should use the handkerchief again, so you can see the pictures.
You going to read it to me?
I'll show you the pictures. There's the pirate.
Yes, with the patch over his eye.
Just like that man you saw. Oh, you said you saw.
Yeah.
And here's his cave.
Yeah, his cave.
Full of gold. I wouldn't want to have as much gold as he had. Would you? I'd rather have 2 cats.
Well,
Over in the back of the book here, there's a picture of a fairy godmother. I think that's who she is. I guess somebody left off reading it here a long time ago. There's a piece of newspaper for a bookmark, I suppose. See? What makes it so yellow?
oh, it's yellow because it's so old. Let me see that. I didn't know this was in here. It's been here since 1900.
1900? Goodness. What's it say?
Oh, nothing much. It's just a piece of paper.
That's your name, isn't it? Elicrump. Eli Crump. That's you. What's that next word? A-C-Q-U-I.
Acquitted.
I don't know what that means. Would you like to read it to me?
Eli Crump was acquitted yesterday of the charge of manslaughter. Crump's plea that he gave his small daughter Alice medicine from the wrong bottle by mistake while he was under the influence of liquor, drunk at the barn raising at Lisbon, was evidently credited by the jury.
Oh.
Now you see why I felt sorry for your father. I only hope he won't have the kind of punishment I've had ever since it happened. Because if he's going to, I'd wish him dead.
I'm kind of sleepy. Maybe if I could put my head back further.
I guess I ought to be taking you upstairs to your bed.
Oh, I like it here where it's warm.
Well, you want to play the music again?
No. Maybe if you'd sing to me, like my mommy does.
Sing? I couldn't sing no more than a crow.
Never heard a crow sing. Guess we'll see a lot of penguins up in Alaska, if we ever get there.
You're going to get there. At least I'm going to see that you get started out of here in the morning, safe and sound.
It sounds as if you wanted us to go.
I know. Not you. Godfrey, I wish you could stay on and on.
If you don't start to sing pretty soon, I'm afraid I'll be too sleepy to enjoy it.
All right. Remember, it's at your risk. I got to get you stowed away upstairs pretty soon because I got some work to do before I go to bed.
Work?
Got to kill an old turkey gobbler for tomorrow.
Well, that's right. Tomorrow's Christmas, isn't it? I almost forgotten about it. I don't know where we'll be eating our turkey. I wish we could stay here to help keep you company.
I wish so, too. I wish so, too, Alice.
Sing.
Oh, don't you remember sweet Alice Benbolt? Sweet Alice whose hair was so brown.
My hair is really yellow, isn't it?
Yeah. Who wept with delight when you gave her a smile and trembled with fear at you.
You've just heard Parker Fenley in the title role of his fine play Christmas Eve at Crump's. The rest of the cast in tonight's performance included Agnes Young as Comfort, Joe Latham as Zadok, and little Carol Peterson as Alice. Christmas Eve at Crump's was a presentation of the Listener's Playhouse and came to you over the Blue Network of the National Broadcasting Company, RCA Building, Radio City, New York.
An equal opportunity employer with a half-century of service in communities coast to coast.
Learn more about a Welcome Wagon hostess or host career. Call Welcome Wagon at 469-8470 today and get started on your new and rewarding Welcome Wagon career. 10:29, Chicago's weather, decreasing cloudiness but colder as the evening and morning hours approach. The low around 12 above, so it's going to be a bit cool this Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. In fact, Weather Command has predicted some light snow showers likely, the high around 22 degrees. For Tuesday, decreasing cloudiness, more cold weather predicted for the area. Again, there's a possibility of snow. And for the next few days, we will see readings between 3 and 6 degrees below normal. Our normal high, 33, the normal low, 19. The lakefront, 30, Midway, 28, O'Hare, 27, the humidity, 72%. The winds are northwesterly at 14 miles per hour. The wind chill factor 7 above. The barometer 29.71.
Give to the Wreath of Hope. Send your contributions to Bell Federal Savings, Monroe and Clark Street, Chicago 60603. News Radio 78, WBBM, Chicago.
You're invited to Northwest Federal's grand opening celebration. It's another new savings center in Elmhurst, Elk Grove, with free gifts for savers and a Hawaiian vacation sweepstakes. Northwest Federal location, including both our new locations at Elmhurst and Elk Grove. It's Northwest Federal savings time, 63 hours a week. One more time.
It's Northwest Federal savings time, 63 hours a week.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. This is a very special occasion for me. I'm to be a little more than your host. This time, I will not only be introducing the story, but telling it to you, acting it out. The Mystery Theater's special Christmas story this year, Charles Dickens' immortal classic, A Christmas Carol, with Guess Who as Scrooge. Bah, humbug. Our mystery drama, A Christmas Carol, was adapted from the Charles Dickens classic especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin. It is sponsored in part by Contact, the 12-hour cold capsule. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Take your Contact, take it now. Give your cold to Contact.
Before you choose a cold medicine, you should know that no cold tablet, no cold liquid has found the way to give you Contact's continuous relief. One Contact works up to 12 hours. Helps relieve all your congestive symptoms. All day, all night. That's the wonder of Contact.
Give your cold to Contact.
Take only as directed.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gregory Peck. With original designs and paintings contributed by leading artists of every continent, UNICEF greeting cards are a beautiful way to give, available all over the world through voluntary non-profit organizations. When you buy UNICEF greeting cards, you're helping to feed, clothe, and educate needy children. Help the children of the world through UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund.
Working for you. Working for you. Commonwealth Edison, working for you.
Hi, this is Ed Powers for Commonwealth Edison. Did you know there's a way to get back more energy than you put in when it comes to heating your home? As much as 50% more energy? Well, I'm talking about the electric heat pump. It may heat and cool your home for less than you're now paying because it relies on heat from the sun. Heat that's already in the outside air, instead of making heat by burning scarce fuels. In the winter, it pumps heat energy into your home to keep you warm. And in the summer, it's an air conditioner that pumps heat out of your home to keep you cool. So if you're replacing your furnace or buying a new home, You owe it to yourself to take a look at the electric heat pump. It can save you money while it saves energy.
Working for you, Commonwealth Edison.
Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol begins like this. Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt about that whatever. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. Old Marley was dead as a doornail. Ebenezer Scrooge? Oh, he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck out generous fire. Solitary as an oyster, he iced his office in the dog days and didn't thaw it out 1 degree, even at Christmas.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
It's you, nephew. What brings you here on a miserable, cold, windy night like tonight?
Cold and windy, yes, and the snow falling softly. A perfect Christmas Eve to say, Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Humbug.
Christmas a humbug? Oh, you don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry, or the world at large? What reason have you yourself to be merry? You're poor enough.
Oh, come then. What reason have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Don't you taunt me, Fred. Bah! And don't indulge yourself in expectations. Humbug.
Take me as I am, Uncle, and as the season is, and don't be cross.
Where else can I be when I live in a world of fools? Christmas. Phooey. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? Time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own plum pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Oh, come along, Uncle. Can you not let down for once and enjoy yourself?
Come along, nephew. Keep Christmas in your own way. Let me keep it in mine.
Yes, but you don't keep it.
Leave me alone, then. Much good it may do you. Much good has it ever done you?
Oh, there are a lot of things, Uncle, from which I've never profited. Christmas among the rest. Except that when it comes around, who can resist it? A kind of forgiving time of year when men and women seem by one consent to open up their hearts freely. So then I say, Uncle, though it never put a scrap of silver or gold in my pocket, I believe it has and will do me good, and so I say, God bless it.
Who's that? What's all that there?
I'm sorry, Mr. Scrooge. It's just that it is a holiday, and my hands were so cold.
Just let me hear another word from you, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your employment.
Oh, please, sir, I humbly beg your pardon. It was just an action on the spur of the moment.
Just apply the spur to goad you into finishing your work, Cratchit, and let's hear no more from you.
Yes, sir.
Well, nephew, why are you here?
To ask you to dine with us tomorrow.
Dine with you? Never. There's nothing more ridiculous than all the fuss and expense over Christmas dinner.
Oh, Uncle, I want and ask nothing from you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
And with all my heart, I'm sorry to find you so resolute. At least, I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon. And be sure to make the front door fast. No wasting of heat here. No extra logs on the fire.
Yes, Uncle. Mr. Cratchit.
Yes, sir?
May I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
The first I am sure of, and I thank you. The other...
Who knows what the future holds? Be of good hope.
The nerve of all of them. My nephew, Wastrel, and Bob Cratchit on 15 shillings a week with a wife and family talking about a Merry Christmas. Enough to make a man retire to Bedlam. They're all mad.
Begging your pardon, Mr. Scrooge, a gentleman to see you.
Yes.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the honor of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead for 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
Ah, sad. Sad indeed. Still, I have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
Liberality?
At this festive season, it is more than usually desirable that we all make some slight provision for the poor and destitute. You may make your pledge here.
Are there no prisons?
We speak of the needy.
The union workhouses are not still in operation.
They are. I wish I could say they were not. A few of us private citizens are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. What shall I put you down for, Mr. Scrooge?
Nothing.
Of course, you wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. By tax, I help to support the establishments we have mentioned. They cost enough and more. Let those who are badly off go there.
Many can't go there. And many would rather die.
If they would rather die, then let them do so and decrease the surplus population. Good afternoon, sir, whatever your name is.
I find you hard to believe, Mr. Scrooge.
Cratchit, let him out. Close the door, Cratchit, to extinguish what coals remain.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Come here.
Coming, Mr. Scrooge.
You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'd be bound.
Well, sir,
yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
I would not presume to have an opinion, but then it is only one day a year.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose I have no choice. You must have the whole day. Just make sure you are here earlier the following morning. I dined my usual melancholy dinner in the usual melancholy tavern. Afterwards, climbed the stairs to my living quarters in the gloom. Something about my door knocker stopped me as I was about to put key in lock. For one strange moment, it looked like Marley. Ghostly spectacles turned up on its ghostly forehead. To say that I was not startled would not be strictly true. And even after I was entered and locked in and my candle lit, I did pause irresolutely before I dismissed it with humbug. Humbug. Still, I was uneasy. Trimming my candle, I walked through all my rooms to make sure all was well. Sitting room, bedroom, lumber room, all as it should be. Small fire in the grate, spoon and basin ready, little saucepan of gruel, since I had a cold. What's that? The front door. The side door. The bell by my bed. The one on the mantel and on the sideboard. What do they herald? Who rings them? The cellar door. And that noise. What? I won't believe it. I say there is humbug still. Grim Spectre, what do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you, then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You don't believe in me?
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You may be a bit of undigested beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy about you than the grave, wherever you are. Humbug, I tell you, humbug.
Unbeliever! So, I unwrapped the bandages from about my head to reveal the rotting flesh, the jaw fallen slackly to my breast, the muscles eaten long since by worms. Now, you believe me for who and what I am.
Yes, oh, mercy, dread apparition. Why do you trouble me?
I must.
But why are you fettered and bound in chains?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it, link by link. I girded it on of my own free will. Is its pattern so strange to you? Or would you learn the weight and length of the coil you wear yourself? It was full and as heavy and as long as mine these 7 Christmas Eves ago, and you have labored on it since. My once partner in life, what a ponderous chain you have built to drag you down in death.
No, Jacob. Oh, Jacob Marley, speak some comfort to me.
I have none to give. I cannot stay. I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our counting house in life. So, in death, weary journeys lie before me.
7 years dead and traveling all the time?
No rest, no peace. The incessant torture of remorse. I am here tonight, Ebenezer, to warn you that you have yet a hope of escaping my fate.
Oh, you were always a good friend, Sankey.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
That is the hope you mentioned?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you have no hope but to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
But couldn't I take them all at once and have it over?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third, when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate on your mantle clock. And for your own sake, remember what has passed between us. Passed between us.
Jacob, do not leave me yet. But he was gone, as if he had never been. And yet, he had been. And Ebenezer Scrooge would never be the same man again.
He fell asleep without undressing upon the instant. A sleep that was destined to be disturbed, as I shall relate when I return with Act 2.
Girl Scouts need adult volunteers. Call your local Girl Scout council today. Girl Scouts part of being a girl. Learning to be in a very big world. Learning to care and learning to share. And seeking the answers tomorrow will bring.
Skokie, Lincolnwood, Morton Grove, Niles Gulf, these are the suburbs served by the News. A progressive newspaper in a progressive area. Whether your needs be buying, selling, renting, or hiring, the classified columns of the News are your answer. 50 years of service to the Niles Township community means they are established. In fact, the established newspaper. OR3 5000. You are that close to one of their trained specialists who will assist you in preparing your ad message and keep your costs at a minimum. You know what items you have put away and will probably never use again, much of them like new. So why not convert it to cash? Call the Post Leader News at OR3 5000 to be sure your message is in front of thousands of readers next Thursday. That's the Post Leader News at OR3 5000. Remember that number, OR3 5000.
When awoke, it was dark, and the chimes of a neighborhood church were striking the 4 quarters. To his amazement, they were followed by 12 strokes at the bell. 12? Impossible. It was 2 when he went to bed.
Why, it isn't possible I could have slept through a whole day and far into another night. As I lay, I suddenly remembered that Marley had said a ghost would visit me at 1. Who are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
Your past. Don't you recognize me?
A strange figure, almost like a child. The outlines dimly seen. It wore a tunic of purest white and a branch of fresh green holly in its hand, in singular contradiction to the dress, which was trimmed with summer flowers. But strangest of all, above its crown sprang a bright, clear jet of light, which illuminated the darkest corner, but obscured the face. And under its arm a cap, which looked for all the world like a candle snuffer. For some reason, I wanted it to put on its cap. The light is blinding. Would you not put on your cap?
Would you so soon put out with worldly hands the light I shed? Is it not enough that you are the one who fashioned me this cap and forced me to wear it low upon my brow?
Aye? What business brings you here?
Your welfare.
Well, if you would regard my welfare, you would leave my sleep unbroken.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
I cannot resist your command, but I am an old man, lightly clad and nursing a cold to boot.
Do not deny me. Come. Follow me.
All of a sudden, I was flying, floating on air. The night had vanished as the city below me, and I was looking down on the country in the clear, cold light of day, with snow dusting the ground. Good heavens! I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Your lip is trembling. What is that upon your cheek?
Nothing. Nothing. The wind makes my eyes water. Lead me where you will.
Do you not remember the way?
Remember it. I could walk it blindfold.
Strange to have forgotten it so many years. Let us set our feet on the road.
I will not tell you most of where we wandered as time stood still or raced ahead at a whim. The school where I was a child. The house I grew up in, an orphan. A terrible rush of tears remembering another outcast, a foreigner, an alien who in our mutual loneliness had once befriended me. Poor Ali Baba. It's too late now.
What is too late?
Nothing. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given him something, that's all.
What might have been. Let us see another Christmas.
What's that?
Your aunt, who brought you up, passed away.
Oh, no.
A delicate creature whom a breath might have withered. But she had a large heart.
Amen to that. I will not gainsay it, Spirit.
When she died, she had, I think, children.
One child.
True. Your nephew.
Yes. We traveled further, scenes flashing by like slides in a magic lantern. Old Fezziwig in his Welsh wig, my first employer. His Christmas parties with a groaning table and everyone dancing with a light foot and heart to the festive music. His kind wife and the joy of working at a desk one wasn't nailed to. And then someone I had shut away so long ago.
What is it, Scrooge?
That girl.
Whom you shall sit beside.
No.
Oh, yes. This shadow most of all. Don't you remember me?
I told you the light blinds me.
Then remember me as I was. before you put my light out.
No tears, I beg you.
None. If the idol who has replaced me can cheer and comfort you, I must not grieve.
What idol?
A golden one. Nothing but gain engrosses you.
So, if I have grown wiser, I am not changed toward you.
Our marriage contract was made when we were both poor. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Whatever you were, I freely offer you your release.
Have I ever sought it?
In words? Never.
How then?
In a changed nature. In everything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight. And so I release you with a full heart for the love of what once you were. May you be happy in the life you've chosen.
Now I recognize you, Spirit, and why you've come back to haunt me. Torture me no more.
Some shadows still to see.
No, I can bear it no longer. Haunt me no longer. The light you shine is too bright for my eyes to bear. Give me your cap so I may extinguish it, and you. In a puff of smoke, the figure was gone, and I had barely time to reel to my bed, exhausted from the long night's travels, where I fell into a heavy sleep. What's that? The clock ticking away. Awake in the night of time. Almost one. When the second messenger Marley sends me from the grave will arrive. What ghastly shape might he take? What hideous form? What torture might this one plan for me? At least I am prepared for anything. Well, prepared for anything but nothing. Hello there, Spirit. Are you invisible to me? What's that? That great light from beneath my sitting room door. Here's a fearful waste of light, a shocking extravagance. I must go in and douse these candles. Yet I'm afraid to enter.
Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge. Stop skulking there behind your bedroom door. Enter, man. Enter.
Why, here's a prodigal spending of light. In a great roaring blaze, hot enough to set the chimney flue on fire.
Look well on me. Have you never seen the like of me before?
Never.
It is time your eyes were opened to this and other things.
Spirit, I will be no trouble. Conduct me where you will. I went forth last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson which is working now. Tonight, if you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Hold fast to my robe.
In the blink of an eye, we were transported to a mean and shabby little house, threadbare but clean as a new washed shirt, and redolent of the mouth-watering smell of goose, basking in sage and onion, and aromas of an eating house and pastry cooks next together, which came from the Christmas pudding.
Whatever has got your precious father, then, and your brother, Tiny Tim? I never remember him, Martha, as late as this on Christmas Day.
What a place is this?
House of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. See, here he comes now.
That child he carries on his shoulder with a little crutch in his hand, and his lower limbs bound in an iron cage.
The youngest of the Cratchits, Tiny Tim.
Why, look at him struggle after the others as his father sets him down. Where are they off to?
To watch one of the merriest sights of this merriest of seasons. The golden goose turn on the spit. Shh. Listen.
How late you are, my dear, and how cold. Oh, come, sit you down by the fire and have a warm. Lord bless you.
After I've had a look at that goose, too.
First, tell me, how did Tiny Tim behave through the service?
Oh, as good as gold and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much and thinks the strangest things you ever heard.
I know. What was it this time?
He told me coming home he hoped everyone in the church saw him because he was a cripple.
Oh.
Because it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day who it was made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Bob. Bob. Oh, I feel so much for you.
No. You must not, my dear. Remember the day. Come, let's join the others.
Tell me, Spirit, will Tiny Tim live?
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a little crutch without an owner. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Oh, no, kind Spirit. Spare him.
That from you, recall your own words. If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Oh, I am ashamed.
And should be, man, if you be man at heart, forbear that wicked cant until you have discovered what the surplus is and where it is. Listen.
A toast before we eat to Mr. Scrooge.
To me?
I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. Oh, I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I'd hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
Oh, my dear, the children, Christmas Day.
Well, I'll bring to his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, he'll be very merry and very happy, I've no doubt.
And now, a Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us. God bless us, everyone.
Yes, Merry.
My very name cast a pall upon their happiness.
But mark you on the wealth of spirit among them, which thought kindly on a man with as little spirit as yours.
In particular, that poor little lad, Tiny Tim. Did you notice how generous he was to end the toast with, God bless us, everyone, including even me? What a valiant little soul, in spite of all his handicaps.
Perhaps your eyes are opening at last. But come, you have more to learn.
Where now?
Your nephew's house.
He said that Christmas was a humbug. As I live, he believed it, too.
More shame for him, Fred, that my uncle-in-law should speak so.
Well, he's a comical old fellow and not so pleasant as he might be.
Oh, yes.
However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him. And I will have no downturned mouths at this season. So here is a glass of mulled wine to our hands. Let's drink to the old man.
Well, he has given us plenty of merriment at that. So, to Uncle Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, whatever he is. He wouldn't take it from me, but may he have it nevertheless. To Uncle Scrooge.
To Uncle Scrooge.
No, wait. Let me go to them. Explain.
Too late for me. The hour grows too late. Away.
Where stand we now? This open place.
A crossroads where I must leave you.
Oh, forgive me what I ask, but I see something strange protruding from the skirt of your robe.
That might be a claw for all the flesh there is upon it.
Yes.
Then see what you must see.
From the sanctuary came forth a boy and a girl, yellow, meager, ragged, scowling, wolfish, but prostrate, too, in their humility. I started back appalled. Spirit, are these yours?
They are man's. The boy is ignorance, the girl is want. Beware of them both and all of their degree, but most of all beware this boy, for on his brow I see written doom, unless the writing can be erased. My time is sounding.
Wait! Have these pitiful creatures no refuge or resource?
I answer in your own words. Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Hold for one moment. Help me. Where should I turn?
Turn and face your future. The black phantom that approaches you now. Face your future. Your future.
As the last stroke of the bell struck 12, Scrooge turned to face a dread figure, a solemn phantom, draped and hooded in blacks and deep grays, coming, creeping like the mist about it towards him. I'll return with Act 3 very shortly.
Listen with your heart and you'll hear more than words.
Grandma?
Yes, sweetheart?
Did my mother ever do anything bad?
Well, what do you mean?
Did she always clean up her room?
Listen with your heart and you'll hear love.
Seems to me I had to remind her to clean up her room on occasion.
Sometimes I forget, too.
Well, everyone forgets once in a while.
Jimmy more than me?
No. You know, your mother used to ask me that about her brother.
Really?
Listen with your heart and you'll hear love.
You remind me an awful lot of your mother when she was a little girl.
Listening, caring, and sharing. That's what understanding is all about.
Listen with your heart and you'll hear love.
From the Mormons, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
This is WBBM Chicago. Make your holiday meals more festive and flavorful with the help of Dominic's Old World Deli specialists. They have the perfect specials for that Christmas tree trimming that you're planning. For instance, serve old-fashioned country sliced bacon, just 89 cents a pound. Served with eggs and toast, it's a perfect way to start your day. Or try slicing up a lean, luscious ham. Dominic's Deli specialists make it easy because you can save $1.50 off the purchase price of Ager, Dubuque, or Corn King 5-pound canned ham with an in-store coupon. And while in Dominic's, ask about those tantalizing holiday party trays. At your request, Dominic's Deli specialists will create delectable platters of tasty roast beef, lean corned beef, pastrami, salami, and cheese of all kinds. And don't forget about Dominic's homemade salads. They're practically a meal in themselves. There's nothing that can match the fun and good cheer of the holidays or tasty holiday specials from Dominic's, Chicagoland's most complete food stores.
The last phantom silently, slowly, gravely approached. It was shrouded in a deep black garment, which concealed its head, its face, its form, and left nothing of it visible save one outstretched hand, which served as its only voice, for the spirit neither spoke nor moved.
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You answer not, but point where we are to go. Lead on, Spirit, and I will follow. A great black cloud gathered me and carried me willy-nilly to the streets. Its shroud, like the figure that stood by me, hung about me as I listened to two gentlemen talking in the street.
So, Mr. Grimes, old Scratch has got his own at last.
I have been so informed, Mr. Goodfellow. When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What on earth could he have caught? I thought he'd never die.
God knows. Why should I care?
What has he done with his money?
Heaven knows. Not left to charity, and certainly not to me. Left to his company, perhaps.
Oh, God knows he appears not to have had any sort of personal tie.
By which token, it's like to be a very cheap funeral. For upon my life, I cannot think of anybody to go to it.
How dismal and awful to dismiss address another human being in such terms. Forgive me, dread ghost. I did not mean to diverge. You wish to reveal something to me? You have my full attention.
Fred, the news is bad.
Bad?
We are quite ruined.
Oh, no, there's hope for us yet.
Here relents. If he forgives or forgave, there might have been. Ah, but it is too late for the miracle.
Poor, old, miserable boy. He's past relenting. He's dead.
No, wait, Spirit, wait. I'm not ready to leave. What else would you have me look on?
Tell me again about today. About little Tim on the grave.
It would have done you good to see how green a place it is, but you'll see it often. I promised him I would walk there every other Sunday. My last born. My poor little broken child.
Oh, please. I shall break down with you.
Oh, my darling, we can all try to be brave, but how can we hide our sorrow? What is more final and dreadful than death?
I want to help, Spectre, but something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. Tell me, what man was it I saw lying dead? Very well. You point. Where to this time? A churchyard. And here we are. A headstone. You would have me read it? Tell me, are these the shadows of things that will be or may be only? Oh, my own name, Ebenezer Scrooge. Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been from all this intercourse. Why show me this if I am past all hope? For once, you make no motion. Your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Good Spirit, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. The three spirits shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me I may sponge away the writing on this stone. Give me your hand, I beg you. Give me your hand. I hold you to me. You cannot disappear. You cannot disappear. You... Oh, bless my soul. What I cling to is my own bedpost. And wait. Perhaps my time is my own to make amends in. Yes, I will live in the past, in the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, old Jacob, on my knees. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather, and I am as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. A Merry Christmas to everyone. A Happy New Year to all the world. Hello there. Oh, hello. Oh, there's the saucepan the gruel was in. There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. There's the corner where I saw the wandering spirits. It's all right. It's true. It all happened. Oh, my God, I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I'm a baby. I don't know what month it is. Throw open the window and rejoin the world. Hey, Mr. Grimes, what's today?
Why, Christmas Day.
Christmas Day! I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do what they like. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Do you still run the poulterer's shop in the next street but one, at the corner?
I should hope I did, on my way to open up.
Oh, pray then, Mr. Grimes, do I dare hope you have not yet sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the little prize turkey, the big prize turkey.
The one as big as an ostrich?
Oh, a delightful man. A pleasure to talk to him. Yes, Mr. Grimes.
It is hanging there now.
Well, what are we waiting for? I want to buy it. Bring it here that I may give directions where to take it. Send back your boy and I'll give him a shilling. Have him bring it back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give him half a crown. Better still, here's a £5 note. Send him to deliver the turkey to Mr. Cratchit by cab at the address I give you. And what's left shall be your Christmas present and his. Shaving was not an easy task, for my hand was shaking, and shaving demands attention. At last it was finished, and I dressed myself in all my best and issued forth to the streets. The first person I met was a portly gentleman who had walked into my counting house the day before, saying, Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. I hastened to intercept him. My dear sir, how do you do? I beg your pardon. I hope you succeeded yesterday. A Merry Christmas to you, sir. Mr. Scrooge? That is my name. I fear not pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness to allow me to contribute? May I have your ear, sir? Oh, Lord bless me. So much. My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you really serious? If you please. Not a farthing less. Will you do me that favor? Oh, my dear sir, I don't know what to say to such don't say anything. Come and see me. Will you come and see me? I will indeed. Thank you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Merry Christmas. By all that's holy, is it you, Uncle?
Me, Fred. You did ask me to dinner. Am I too late to take up the invitation?
Too late?
Will you let me in?
Will I let you in? Why, here's the merriest turn a Christmas can take, darling wife. Here's Uncle Scrooge to share our Christmas. Isn't that a present for this day?
You couldn't have brought Fred a better one. Welcome to our home, Uncle.
For only the first of many times, I hope. It's a whole new year.
Yes, and you may spend it all with us if you will.
Only today, for I must be in the office as early as can be. No, don't steal glances at each other. It isn't business on my mind, but recompense. And since at last I have learned to laugh, I want to have my first joke with the man I have perhaps wronged most all of these years, my faithful Bob Cratchit. A wonderful day, an evening with my nephew, a deep sleep that might have lasted for days, except that I was bound and determined to be earlier than my clerk at the counting house that Monday morning. I was as pleased as a child when I beat him there. Even more pleased to find that for once he was late. When the door opened and he came in, he was a full 18 1/2 minutes behind his time. His hat and scarf were off before he opened the door. In terror of the man I had been, he was on his stool in a jiffy, writing his pen as if he were trying to overtake the lost minutes.
Morning, Mr. Scrooge.
Morning. A little late for that. What do you mean by coming here this time of day?
I am very sorry, sir. I am behind time.
You are? Yes, I think you are. Now, step this way, sir, if you please.
It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Now, I'll tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand by this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I feel myself forced to raise your salary.
Why, Mr. Scrooge, sir, do you feel all right?
Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas than I have given you for many a year. Not only raise your salary,
but discuss your affairs and endeavor to help your struggling family over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. So make up the fires till they hot us right out of the counting house before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit. It's not only a new year, but a whole new world for both of us.
As we all know, Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. And he made a good new will for his nephew and his future partner, Bob Cratchit. One thing after a long life he took to his grave, that he knew how to keep Christmas well. May it be truly said of all of us, and as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
Certain foods, plants, and animal products you can't bring back to the U.S. You can't because they're prohibited. They're prohibited because even one of these foods, plants, or animal products might carry a disease or pest that could spread to our crops and gardens and animals with devastating results. You haven't been everywhere on the globe yet, but there's always tomorrow. And before you go again, write for the free booklet that explains the law.
Even one can hurt, write for Traveler's Tips.
Write to Traveler's Tips, U.S. Department of Agriculture, Washington, D.C. 20250. It's free.
What more is there to say after Dickens' Christmas Carol, except the eternal message it brings, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Our cast included Marion Seldes, Ian Martin, Evie Juster, Robert Dryden, and William Redfield. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
Why not give Victor something to worry about? What have you got to lose? Praskovia, pretend to love me. What can happen? Either Victor will behave himself, or you will discover that all along, I've been the one for you.
I don't know.
Look, we shall turn on the television set.
No.
It should be against the law for one man to be so handsome and so talented.
You see how she clutches his arm? Talon's like a vulture.
Turn it off. How he eats it up. The fool.
Shall we give Victor something to worry about?
Yes, Sergei. We shall definitely give Victor something to worry about.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Invited to Northwest Federal's grand opening celebration. It's another new savings center in Elmhurst, Elk Grove, with free gifts for savers and a Hawaiian vacation sweepstakes. Stop by any Northwest Federal Savings Center, including Elmhurst, Elk Grove, and choose from over 20 terrific gifts. free or for special low prices with a deposit of $250 or more. Our new Elmhurst Savings Center has the same convenient hours as all our Northwest Federal Savings Centers, 63 hours a week. Come celebrate our Elmhurst grand opening. You could win one of 2 free trips to Hawaii. No transaction is necessary. Void where prohibited. Entrance must be 18 years of age or older. Contest ends March 8th, 1979. Register today at any Northwest Federal location, including both our new locations at Elmhurst and Elk Grove.
It's Northwest Federal Savings Time, 63 hours a week.
One more time.
It's Northwest Federal Savings Time, 63 hours a week.
CBS News. A crowd of 5,000 gathered in Bethlehem's Manger Square this Christmas Eve. 12,000 others heard Pope John Paul II ask for peace in his first Christmas Mass. But in part of the Middle East, there was sporadic fighting. I'm Susan Spencer, reporting on the CBS Radio Network. The early hours of Christmas were shattered by the crash of artillery shells in the Christian section of East Beirut. Right-wing military sources said Syrian gunners had opened fire on their positions. It's unclear at this time how serious the attacks were. There are so far no reports of casualties. In Tehran today, government troops opened fire on a group of protesters trying to storm the U.S. Embassy, and 13 people were killed. Randy Daniels reports that the anti-American mood is growing.
The movement against the Shah is taking on an openly anti-American tone, and some Americans who live here have been receiving threatening phone calls warning them to leave Iran. It is not unusual to be asked your nationality when walking down the street. The mention of any country other than the United States is generally met with a smile. The anti-American mood here is largely a result of U.S. support for the Shah. Graffiti on the walls of buildings and fences usually links Yankee Go Home with Down with the Shah. To ease the growing hostility, or perhaps in a spirit of Christmas, workers at Tehran's power company refrained from their ploy of shutting down electrical service to upper-income areas of the city where many Americans live. The movement against the Shah is again gathering momentum, and as the few Christians here celebrate Christmas, anti-government forces are preparing for another round of confrontation. Randy Daniels, CBS News, Tehran.
More CBS News in a moment.
A music box, a sprig of holly, and holiday greetings from the CBS Radio Network. It's signed by some people you know. Charles Kuralt, Charles Osgood, Lee Jordan, Mariah McLaughlin, Ed Bradley, Harry Reisner, and Fred Graham. And some more signatures on our holiday greetings. Rita Sands, Morley Safer, Reed Collins, Richard C. Hartlett, Douglas Edwards, Dallas Townsend, and of course everyone else at CBS News and the CBS Radio Network. Best wishes for a happy holiday season and a bright new year ahead.
California authorities today arrested a young man and a woman and charged them with the execution-style shootings of 2 California Highway Patrol officers last week. The pair was arrested after police recognized them from composite drawings. It is not known who supplied the description for those drawings. Vernon Jordan, the president of the Urban League, said Sunday that he worries that the same problems which caused unrest in U.S. cities in the 60s could cause similar disturbances today. On the CBS News broadcast Face the Nation, Jordan said the ingredients are there. He said that heading off the problems before they erupt will require a commitment from government to cut unemployment, which he said must be recognized as being just as important a problem as is inflation. President Carter's move to normalize relations with the People's Republic of China has brought on criticism, some of it from congressmen who say China frequently violates the human rights of its citizens. That criticism was answered today by Assistant Secretary of State for Human Rights, Patricia Darian.
I can only assure you that before the normalization was announced, we were discussing these matters with the People's Republic of China, and it is a part of our foreign policy, which is known to every government in the world.
Former Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi will be spending Christmas in a Delhi prison cell. Sunday, mobs of her supporters protested in Bombay. In that city, pro-Gandhi mobs set fire to buses, tried to burn commuter trains, and stoned passing cars. At least 200 people were arrested. Mrs. Gandhi is in prison on contempt charges. Her sentence will last as long as Parliament is in session. More in a moment.
Broadway musical. Girl Scouts need adult volunteers. Call your local Girl Scout council today. Girl Scouts part of being a girl, learning to be a very big world, learning to care and learning to share, and seeking the answers tomorrow will bring.
A Christmas story of sorts. Some 100,000 Christmas vacationers in the Canary Islands are having to rough it a bit. Hotel workers are on strike in the balmy Canaries, and that means no hot Christmas meals and no Christmas room service, which has no doubt prompted a lot of bah humbugs. Susan Spencer, CBS News.
We're back in Chicago again. This is WBBM News Radio 78. Decreasing cloudiness and turning colder for the remainder of this Christmas Eve. The low around 12 above. For tomorrow, Christmas Day, Weather Command has predicted more cold readings for the area, and snow flurries likely late. The percent chance of snow around 60%. Our high tomorrow, 22 degrees. Tuesday's outlook, more cold weather predicted for the area. Again, there's a possibility of snow, and for the next 5 days, our temperatures will range between 3 and 6 degrees below normal. The normal high 33 and the normal low 19. Our lakefront 30 degrees, officially at Midway 28, and O'Hare 27, the humidity 72%. The winds are northwesterly at 14 miles per hour. The wind chill factor 7 above, the barometer 29.71.
Give to the Wreath of Hope. Send your contributions to Bell Federal Savings, Monroe and Clark Street, Chicago 60603. News Radio 78, WBBM, Chicago.
Let's spotlight the headlines again on News Radio 78. I'm Marvin Mullins reporting. First, this program reminder, Capitol Cloakroom comes your way at 11:35. About 2,000 persons were evacuated Sunday night in Scotlandville, Louisiana, as an oil storage tank fire threatened their homes. Sheriff James Chin says they probably won't be able to return home until sometime Christmas Day. The Bangladesh government has suspended all martial law provisions and promised to release all political prisoners. The government also made another concession to opposition parties Sunday following the opposition threat to boycott the January 27 parliamentary election. The Egyptian Prime Minister is to report to President Sadat Monday on the weekend meeting with Secretary of State Vance and Israeli Foreign Minister Dayan. The talks in Brussels were an attempt to have Middle East peace treaty talks resumed. Argentina and Chilean soldiers are spending Christmas guarding the Andes Pass and patrolling their 2,600-mile common border. An envoy is expected later this week to mediate a territorial dispute between Argentina and Chile that threatens to erupt into war. Those are the headlines. We'll have details of those and other stories at this moment. About 2,000 residents of Scotlandville, Louisiana, are spending Christmas Eve with friends, relatives, or in an emergency shelter. The sheriff in the Baton Rouge suburb ordered an evacuation Sunday night as an oil storage tank fire threatened their homes. Sheriff James Chin says the people probably will not be able to return home until sometime Christmas Day. No civilians are reported injured, but 3 firemen with first-degree burns were taken to nearby hospitals. At last report, the fire was still burning out of control. Officials said there was enough oil in the tank to burn for 40 hours. The Bangladesh government has announced that it suspended all martial law provisions and promised to release all political prisoners. The government also gave another concession to opposition parties Sunday following the opposition's threat to boycott the January 27 parliamentary elections. Press restrictions are also to be withdrawn. Last week, the government gave in to the opposition demand for parliamentary sovereignty. Egyptian Prime Minister is to report to President Sadat Monday on the weekend meetings in Brussels with the U.S. Secretary of State Vance and Israeli Foreign Minister Dayan. That meeting was aimed at resuming the Middle East peace treaty talks. Vance also met in Geneva with Soviet Foreign Minister Gromyko over the weekend for further strategic arms limitation talks. He returned to Washington Sunday night. Thousands of Argentine and Chilean soldiers are spending Christmas guarding a pass between their two countries and their common 2,600-mile border. Both Chile and Argentina are awaiting the arrival of an envoy later this week. The envoy is to mediate their territorial dispute over islands at the tip of the continent, a dispute that threatens to erupt into war. The dollar fell slightly against the Japanese yen as the Tokyo Foreign Exchange opened its Monday trading. The U.S. currency regained some ground in moderate early trading, climbing to 194.40 yen. The Vietnamese news agency Dispatch, monitored in Bangkok, says sweets and gifts are being given to children in southern Vietnamese churches Monday. The children are having their Christmas celebration despite the fact that the Communist Vietnamese government officially frowns on religion. Christmas Day, like many other things in Boys Town, has changed since the days of its founder, Father Edward Flanagan. The citizens of Boys Town used to live in dormitories, but they all live in cottages now. Each cottage houses 10 boys, as well as a married couple as surrogate parents. So everyone in Boys Town will be celebrating a family Christmas this year. The WBBM News Time, 11:35, our temperature downtown 30 degrees.
Senator Dole, is there anything that you and other senators who disagree with the recognition of the Peking government can do to modify the president's action?
Senator Dole, will the Peking recognition strengthen opposition to the SALT Treaty?
Senator, do you favor reducing Social Security benefits next year? From CBS News, Washington, Capitol Cloakroom on the CBS Radio Network. A spontaneous and unrehearsed news interview with an outstanding public figure. This week...
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Jean Arthur and Fred McMurray with Beulah Bondi in Remember the Night, and our special guests, Bob Hope and Rita Hayworth. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. This is Christmas week, and our holiday present to you is the play called Remember the Night. It's all tied up in a glittering, glamorous package, and the gayest decorations of all are those two bright stars, Jean Arthur and Fred McMurray. Christmas is a time when all wanderers think of home, a time when we appreciate most the warmth and the gladness of home. And Remember the Night, adapted from the Paramount screen hit, is the story of what home meant to one man and one girl at Christmas time. The man is a prosecuting attorney, and he's trying to send the girl to prison. But Christmas calls a strange truce in their conflict and throws a magic spell over them both. You'll hear Fred McMurray as the prosecutor. He played that part in the picture. And Jean Arthur will be the girl on trial. Their story has more spirit of Christmas in it than almost any modern play I've read. It's told in a new way and a sure way to our hearts. Remember the Night is a story of what makes the wheels go round in American life. Ordinary American life. A way of life that won't be stopped by anything. This National Theater, we're proud to say, is part of that life. And so is the product that keeps this theater going, Lux Flakes, which also helps to keep your household going year in and year out. With the weatherman off the air, you may not know if you're going to have real snow for Christmas or not. But you can outdo the weatherman by whipping up an indoor blizzard for your Christmas tree with these speedy little flakes. Anyway, winter or summer, you'll find Lux Flakes breaking the speed limit to make the American way of life a little smoother. Now the spotlight turns to the center of the stage as the curtain goes up for the first act of Remember the Night, starring Jean Arthur as Lee Leander and Fred McMurray as Jack Sargent, with Beulah Bondi as Jack's mother. A jewelry store on New York's Fifth Avenue. In the glittering showcases, 1,000 precious stones sparkle in their brilliant settings. Although it's just a few weeks before Christmas, this afternoon there's only one customer in the store, a pretty girl in costly furs. On her wrist is a diamond bracelet, placed there by the enthusiastic clerk. He smiles happily, sensing that the sale is practically complete.
Glorious, madame, isn't it? One of our most beautiful bracelets, really.
Yes, it is beautiful.
You won't regret taking it, madame.
I'm sure I won't. Well, what's the price, please?
Only $5,000.
$5,000. That's reasonable. I think I'd like to see one or two more before I make up my mind. That one in the lower tray, please. Let me see that.
Of course, madame. Personally, I prefer the one you're wearing. But this one's quite beautiful, too. The emeralds set the diamonds off very nicely. Now, if you'll just place this one on your... Madame, where... She's gone. Mr. Meyer! Police!
Jones, what is it?
That girl. She went out the door while my back was turned. She went out with a $5,000 bracelet.
Calling car number 17. Pickup girl, 23 years, dark complexion, silver fox furs. Search for diamond bracelet stolen from Meyer and Company. That is all.
Hello. Officer Cassidy reporting to headquarters. We picked up that girl. Yeah, caught her cold with the goods in a hot shop over on 3rd Avenue. I'll bring her in now.
District Attorney's office. Just a moment.
Who is it?
Commissioner's office. It's about that acquittal yesterday in the shooting case.
Oh, tell him I'm busy.
Hello? Can the district attorney call you back? Thank you.
Is that all they have to do, beef about acquittals? Now, let's get going, Tom.
Okay, boss.
What's the first case today?
Now, it's a cinch. Day by the name of Lee Leander cops a bracelet out of Meyer and Company and hucks it on 3rd Avenue, open and shut.
First offense?
No, she's got a record. This is a third offense.
Oh, that's good, that's good. First offender at Christmas time is tougher than tiger meat. Let's look at that chart. Conviction's only 78%. As against 82% last year.
Hey, boss, can I handle this case? I'll get you conviction.
Nothing doing, Tom. Your face isn't right to prosecute a woman. We'll get Sergeant on this one.
Sergeant? What's his face got that mine hasn't got?
Oh, whatever it is, he never lost a case for me yet.
Yeah, but he's gone home for Christmas. Ohio or Oklahoma or someplace like that. Now, listen, I could get you a conviction so
now,
quick
take
that
it
you...
easy. Take it easy. Oh, Miss Day, get me John Sargent on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sergeant! Mr. Sergeant! The telephone's ringing.
Well, answer it, will you? I'm trying to get packed up in here.
Okay, I'll answer. Hello?
Hey, wait a minute, Rufus. Listen.
Huh?
If that's the office, tell him I've already left, huh?
Oh, okay. Hello? Yowza. Well, if this is the office, he's already left.
Oh, you blockhead. Give me that phone.
Well, I only said what you told me.
Shut up. Good morning. Who all wants to speak to Master Sergeant, please?
Oh, hello, Sergeant. Who do you think you're kidding?
All right, never mind. Who is this?
This is your boss. It's a good thing you didn't take up acting for a living.
Yeah? Well, what do you want?
We got a case to try this morning. I'll see you at the office in 15 minutes.
Now, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be going home for
Oh,
Christmas.
sure. You can leave this afternoon.
Yeah, but I got 730 miles to drive. You told me I could...
Look, Jack, don't argue. It's a female case, and I need you. Now, come on.
Oh, I was afraid of this. Who's defending?
Oh, Larry?
That windbag? He'll give us the Gettysburg Address, the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, no, he won't. I'll have Tom meet you in court, and you'll be out of there by noon. I'll get right down here. Goodbye.
But listen, boss. Hello. Oh, Leary. You talk all day long.
When you leaving, Mr. Sergeant?
Shut up.
Yes, sir.
Quiet, please. Proceed with your summation, Mr. O'Leary.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've heard the prosecuting attorney, Mr. Sargent, attempt to prove that a valuable bracelet was stolen from the premises of Meyer and Company by the defendant. All of this has been a waste of time, ladies and gentlemen. Time we could spend to better advantage in last-minute Christmas shopping. I know that's what I'd like to be doing.
May it please the court, we object, Your Honor. The jury's Christmas shopping has nothing to do with the case.
Objection sustained.
I withdraw the illusion, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, the state has gone to great lengths to prove that Anna Rose Malone, sometimes known as Lee Leander,
And sometimes known as a lot of other things.
did on the afternoon of December 3rd walk out upon Fifth Avenue with a bracelet which was still the property of Meyer and Company. To prove something she freely admits, as if the proof of this fact constituted a proof of guilt. Ladies and gentlemen, we must not be hoodwinked by circumstantial evidence. The contents of a whiskey bottle...
Hey, Jack, I don't like the smile on that jury's pants.
All juries get soft-hearted at Christmas, Tommy.
Yeah.
If you ever get a case to prosecute and you see that peace, honor, goodwill to men look come in their eyes, get a continuance. Even if you have to fall down and tell the judge you ate green apples.
...is necessarily an evildoer. How flimsy is this argument? How unfair. But on it and because of it, you have been asked to take away the liberty of a fellow human being. The truth is simple. The bracelet was removed during a temporary loss of will and consciousness, now known as schizophrenia, but formerly known as hypnotism.
Holy mackerel, that's a sweet one, hypnotism.
Shut up, Tommy.
You mean you're not going to object?
Shut up. He's just postponed the case till after Christmas.
Huh? How do you figure that?
Hypnotism.
Yes, I said hypnotism, and that is exactly what I meant. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this girl, this poor, unfortunate creature went into that jewelry store not to buy, not to steal, but only to look. A salesman showed her the bracelet, begged her to examine it under a more powerful light, and then excused himself. The young girl stares at the bracelet. Closer, closer. The great central stone flashes blindingly in her eyes. Blue, green, purple, orange. Suddenly the colors are gone. Everything is dark. A breath of cold air brings her to her senses. But what's this? Where is the jewelry store? What is she doing on Fifth Avenue, blocks away from Meyer and Company? She doesn't know. Her mind is a blank. And why? This girl, this poor, unfortunate creature, was a victim, an unwilling victim of hypnosis. Your Honor, the defense rests.
All right now, Tommy. Watch.
Your Honor.
Yes?
Your Honor, the hypothesis of hypnotism is a very interesting one. But unfortunately, I am no Svengali. Nor are you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The people of the state of New York will require the expert testimony of Dr. Kindness, the psychiatrist. For this purpose, the people request that a continuance be granted till after the Christmas holiday.
We object, Your Honor. The defense is already summed up.
Objection overruled. The defendant will remain in custody, subject to giving a $5,000 bond. And all jurors, parties, and witnesses are instructed to return to the court January 2nd. Court adjourned, and a very Merry Christmas to you all.
Just a minute, Sergeant. That was a dirty trick you played on me. It means another day in court, and I don't get paid for the state. I have to earn my money.
No more sense of humor than a gravestone. Well, Merry Christmas, Francis.
Now, take it easy, Miss
Let me go.
Leander.
I want to speak to my lawyer. Mr. O'Leary, this guard says I have to have a bond to stay in jail.
That's right.
Is it right? You ought to know, Mr. District Attorney.
I'm afraid it is.
Well, how can I get a bond? I haven't got any more money. I don't want to spend Christmas in jail. Please don't let him do that.
What do you mean you haven't got any more money? What have I been talking for, to hear my own voice?
If you hadn't talked so much, I'd be out of here right now. Hypnotism. That gag so old it's got whiskers. Oh, please. Don't let him keep me here over Christmas.
What's the difference? What could you do if you haven't got any money?
I could walk around, couldn't I?
Come on, miss. It ain't as bad as you think. You get a nice little room, a nice turkey dinner on Christmas, all the trimmings.
Never mind the build-up. Let's go. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Mr. Sergeant.
Hey, she's kind of short, you, Jack.
Yeah. Say, Tom, on your way out, send Fat Mike in here, will you?
Fat Mike, the bondsman?
If you know any other Fat Mikes, you can send them, too.
Okay.
Hey, Mike. Mr. Sergeant wants to see you right away.
Just coming. Hello, Mr. Sergeant. You want to see me?
Yeah. What do you charge for 5,000 bail from now till January 3rd?
Did they pin something on you, pal?
It isn't for me. It's for the young woman who was just here.
Ah, I see.
How much?
For a friend of yours, nothing. Not a red Samilka.
I didn't ask you for any favors.
Favors? It's a privilege. You still living at the same place?
Yeah. Why?
How soon you want her out?
Right away.
Okay, she's out.
Thanks. So long.
Hey, Rufus, you got those other grips packed? Rufus!
Yeah, I am, boss.
What's the matter with you?
She's here, boss.
Who's here?
I don't know.
Well, then how do you know she's here?
I just let her in the living room.
You let who in?
The lady.
What lady? I told you I wasn't home to anyone.
Yes, sir. I told him that. But he shoved the door open anyhow and pushed the lady in with his compliment.
Who did?
A man, a Fat Ike.
Fat Ike?
Yes, sir.
You mean Fat Mike?
Yes, sir. He sure ain't thin, Mike.
Well, what did he bring her here for?
I don't know.
I guess I'll have to go and speak to her.
I guess you will.
Well, hello.
Hello.
What are you doing here?
I don't know yet. I got a rough idea.
Well, anyway, I'm glad you're out.
Sure. Now, what do I have to do for it?
Well, for one thing, you could say thank you, but if that doesn't fit in with your plans, just skip it. My motives in this matter are...
Here you are, boss. Here's the drink.
What drinks? I didn't tell you to bring it.
Scotch and soda, miss.
Thanks.
A drink, boss?
Get out of here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know.
You know, one of these days, one of you boys is going to start one of these scenes differently. And some girl's going to drop dead from surprise.
What are you talking about?
I suppose you do this with all the lady prisoners?
Oh, yes. My life is just one long round of whoopee.
You're in a good spot for it.
Wonderful. I have only to wave a finger and I can satisfy my slightest whim.
And I suppose if anybody says no, you put them right back in the cooler.
Sure. Now, look. When court reconvenes, I'm going to try to put you in jail for a good long time. That's my business. But you haven't been convicted yet, so I don't see why you shouldn't enjoy Christmas like the rest of us. That's why I told Mike to get you out.
And bring me up here.
I did not tell him to bring you up here.
Then why did that gorilla bring me up here?
Because he's got a mind like a sewer.
You mean I don't have to stay here if I don't want to?
You most certainly do not.
Then I'll stay. I just don't want to be forced.
Now, wait a minute.
You know, there's nothing as dangerous as a square shooter. If all men were like you, there wouldn't be any nice girls left.
Yes, well, all this is leading into a very interesting subject that I haven't time to pursue at the moment. I'm going away on a little trip, and it's quite a drive.
Oh, you mean you want me to go?
Well, yes.
Where?
Where what?
I mean, I was on my way to a nice, comfortable jail, 3 meals a day, turkey for Christmas, and now, well,
don't you live someplace?
No.
Well, where have you been living? In a tree?
I had a room in a hotel, but they locked me out.
Oh. Well, how much do you owe this hotel?
$126.40.
Oh. Well, that doesn't solve any problems.
Why don't you just put me back in the clink? That solves a lot of problems.
Well, for one thing, I'm not sure I can. And, well, that wasn't the idea. Have you had your dinner?
Not yet.
Come on, then. I'll buy you that Christmas dinner, and we'll figure something out. Rufus!
Yes, you have, boss. Going out, huh?
Yes, I am.
I know. But don't forget, you gotta go see your ma.
Shut up. You know, I was thinking I might lend you my apartment while I'm away.
That sounds like a play, doesn't it?
Yeah, sounds like a flop.
Don't worry about me. I can always chisel a hotel for a week or two.
That's a nice, cheesy idea.
Well, I'm not going to sleep in the subway. As far as the holiday's concerned, I guess I'll get plenty of that when you get through with me. Not that I mean it in a disagreeable way, you understand?
I understand.
Your business is your business. Of course, some people wouldn't care for that kind of business. Somebody has to do the dirty work.
Thanks.
Just too bad it has to be somebody as nice as you.
How long have you been swiping things?
Long time.
Have you been caught before?
Just twice.
Did you take things you didn't need?
Sure.
In the presence of beautiful things, did you feel a sudden irresistible urge to take them in your hands and hurry away with them?
You mean, was I hypnotized?
No, I mean maybe you're a kleptomaniac.
No, they tried that. You see, to be a kleptomaniac, you can't sell any of the stuff afterwards, or you lose your amateur standing.
I don't understand it.
I don't think you ever could understand because, well, your mind is different. Rights and wrongs aren't the same for everybody. They should be, but they just aren't.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Is it? Try it like this. Suppose you were starving to death.
Yes?
And you didn't have any food and you didn't have any money.
Yeah?
And there was some loaves of bread out in front of a market, and the man's back was turned. Would you swipe one?
You bet I would.
Well, that's because you're honest. You see, I'd have a 6-course dinner at the restaurant across the street. Then I'd say I'd forgotten my purse. You get the difference?
Yeah. I think your way is smarter.
Oh, sure. Sure, we're smart. We're very smart.
Well, if we're all finished. Waiter, check, please.
Right away, sir.
Well, Miss Leander, I've got a couple of bucks extra I don't need. Enough for a room anyway and a couple of breakfasts.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Your check, sir.
Oh. Here you are. Oh, will you ask the band to play my Indiana Home?
Yes, sir.
Why do you want him to play that?
Because that's where I'm going.
No. Are you a Hoosier?
Yeah, Wabash, Indiana. That is a farm just outside of Wabash.
Wabash, Indiana. No wonder I liked you. I'm from Eltonville.
No. Why, that's only about 50 miles
yes,
from...
sir?
Well, I'll be darned. We had to come here and meet like this.
Funny, isn't it? So you're going back home, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I go home every Christmas.
You do, huh? Gee, that's great.
My mother still runs a farm. She does all right, too. Raises partridge, Wyandottes, Poland, China.
Oh, we never had anything that swell.
We never did either till lately. How long since you've been home?
Never.
Why?
I ran away.
Oh. Well, I don't know what the circumstances were, of course.
Not so hot.
Well, time takes care of those things. Did they write to you?
I got a letter from my mother when my father died.
Oh, good. Mother's alive then.
I hope so. That song, it's awful pretty, isn't it? Kind of does things to you.
Say, look, how would you like to go home for Christmas?
What?
I mean it. If I could drop you off at your place and pick you up on my way back.
Home? Oh, gee, I don't know.
Come on, it'll do you good. What do you say?
Well, all right. Unless, aren't you afraid?
Afraid of what?
How it might look. Rising young district attorney and me.
I didn't think of it.
Say, you never think of anything wrong, do you? That's what makes you such a swell guy.
Our stars, Jean Arthur and Fred McMurray, will be back in just a moment for Act Two of Remember the Night. Now, listen a minute with Sally and me. Do you remember how, to the strains of that well-loved music, familiar things came alive on Christmas Eve? How the wooden soldiers marched in the toy shop, the sugar plum fairy danced?
If things only could come alive at Christmas time, it might solve a lot of problems. For girls like Anne, for instance. Anne's pretty. You'd think she'd be popular. But here it's 2 days before Christmas and she's crying herself to sleep because she hasn't a date for New Year's Eve. And she's not been asked to as many holiday parties as the other girls. Now, if only the lacy pink silk slip across the back of a chair in Anne's room could talk like this.
Anne, we're what's wrong. We under things. People notice if we're not always fresh and dainty. You mustn't take chances. We need to be luxed every night. Then you'd really be just as sweet and pretty and dainty as you look.
It's so foolish to take chances with a thing as important as daintiness.
Well, girls who do are apt to find themselves left out of things, missing out on romance.
But Lux girls know what fun the holiday whirl can be.
You're wonderful. Where have you been all my life?
Same old line. But isn't it fun to hear it? Lux girls do. And it's easy to be a Lux girl. Easy to avoid offending by luxing under things every night. Dresses, blouses, and sweaters often.
New Quick Lux gives you suds so fast. Rich, gentle suds that just float away perspiration, yet keep fabrics and colors new-looking longer. Lux is safe for anything safe in water alone. And it's so thrifty. A little goes so far. Get the generous big box of New Quick Lux first thing tomorrow morning. It comes in the same familiar package, costs you no more. And one big box of Lux Flakes will do under things every night for weeks and weeks. Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Act Two of Remember the Night, starring Jean Arthur as Lee Leander and Fred McMurray as Jack Sargent, with Beulah Bundy as Jack's mother. Westward, along the snow-banked highways from New York, more than 20 hours of steady driving have brought Lee Leander and Jack Sargent to Eltonville, Indiana, and the front gate of Lee's former home. A bright moon softens the outline of the ramshackle house that stands cold and dark on the outskirts of town. From within the house comes the warning wail of a dog as Jack swings the car up to the sagging front porch.
This is it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, all out, end of the line.
Oh, please, let's wait till... Yeah, my mother might not even live here anymore.
Come on, now, don't be so nervous.
Well, will you go in with me?
Sure, I'll go in with you. Come on, I've got your bag.
You see that tree?
Yeah?
I fell out of it when I was 12. See, from that branch right up there. Landed on my head, too.
That's a better gag than hypnotism. Your lawyer should have used that. Come on now, smile. Here we are.
Gee, I didn't mean to knock so loud. Oh, that sounds like Mickey barking. Oh, no, but it couldn't be. Here's somebody coming.
Yeah. Now, look, I'll pick you up on New Year's Day in the afternoon. Don't forget.
No. Gee, you've been sweet.
Will you shut up? Yes?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Doesn't Mrs. Malone live here?
Well, I guess you want my wife.
Oh, I didn't know.
Who is it, Henry? Somebody wants me?
Mama. Hello, Mama. Merry Christmas. Well, don't you know me?
Come in.
This is Mr.
Sergeant, how do you do?
Sit down.
Oh, you're looking fine, Mama.
What'd you come here for? What do you want?
I don't want anything. It was just Christmas, and Mr. Sergeant happened to be driving past
You
here.
see, I live in Wabash. I knew you'd be glad if you...
Glad? Why should I be glad? Good riddance to bad rubbish, I said the day she left.
Oh, Mama, please, Mr. Sergeant.
Just like her father she was. Always laughing at serious things. Never doing what she's told till she winds up stealing. Stealing my mission money. Money I'd put by with the sweat of my brow, that's what.
I didn't steal it. I told you 1,000 times I only borrowed it. I was going to pay you back.
But you didn't pay me back, did you? And you never paid me back.
How could I after you called me a thief in front of the whole town? Nobody'd give me a job.
And you left here. The great lady. We weren't good enough for you. A decent home, a hard-working mother, and a crook for a daughter.
Oh, Mom.
Look, Lee, I don't want to tear you away, but we still have 50 miles to go.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
It's been very interesting to meet you, Mrs.
Name doesn't concern you.
It most certainly does not. Come on, kid.
I've forgotten how much that woman hates me. And how much I hate her. It's a terrible thing to say, isn't it?
No.
But ever since I was little, she was always so right. And I was always so wrong. Thanks for getting me out. I'll stay anywhere. Any old place will do. If I'm far enough away from her.
Now, take it easy.
I wish I'd broken my neck when I fell out of that tree.
It's a little too late to think about that now, isn't it?
You won't make me stay in Eltonville, will you? You'll find me a room somewhere else.
Sure.
Any old dump will do.
That's just what you're going to get. It's got only one window, and the mattress is stuffed with rocks, and it's got a painting of the cross-eyedest old guy you ever saw in your life.
How do you know?
How do I know what? That my grandfather was cross-eyed?
You mean you're taking me home with you?
Why not?
Oh.
Oh, now, for God's sake, come on, stop it. Stop it. Hey, anyone home?
John!
Hello, Mother.
Oh, my boy, my boy.
Oh, gosh, Mother, it's good to see you.
Oh, my dear, I can't believe you're here at last. Well, John Sargent.
Hello, Aunt Emmy. How about a kiss?
Oh, I do declare I'm glad you're here. If only to stop your mother from taking leave of us senseless.
Boy, I'll say, hello, John. Welcome home.
Hiya, Willie. Is the girl still chasing you?
What made you so late, dear? We thought you'd be here by 6 at least.
Hey, who's that in the front seat, John?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mother, this is Miss Lee Leander. She's come to spend Christmas with us.
How do you do?
Well, how nice. I'm glad to know you, my dear.
And this is my Aunt Emmy. She knows more about flannel cakes than the guy who invented them.
Hello.
I'm right pleased to meet you, Miss Leander.
And this is Willie Sims, a hired boy. He's crazy about the girls, and the girls are... Well, this is Willie Sims.
I'm pleased to meet you.
Hello. I hope I won't be too much trouble, Mrs. Sargent.
Trouble? Why, bless your child, it's a joy to have you here. No trouble at all.
Sure,
Not just come along, child. You must be near freezing to death, and here we are, cackling like... Emmy, huh? Did you leave those cookies in the oven? Oh, jeepers creepers. Come along now, everyone. This way, Miss Leander.
Oh, boy, John.
What?
Ain't she a pizzerino?
Who? Oh.
Hot dog.
Come on, grab a grip, Willie. I want to thaw out in a hurry.
Go on, John. Don't stop. Play that other piece you used to do so good.
No, I can't remember it, Mother.
Well, try, dear. Don't you think he plays nice, Miss Leander?
You don't have to answer that. I had $14 worth of piano lessons one time, and they've never forgotten it.
Willie, hand me that popcorn. We got to have it all strung to the tree tomorrow night.
Here you are.
Here, you can help me. You ain't done a thing all evening.
Didn't I help Miss Leander with the dinner dishes?
Should have done those yourself, Willie. Miss Leander's a guest.
Oh, I like doing them, Mrs. Sargent. I've lived in hotels and places so long I haven't been around a house as much as I'd like.
Your folks dead?
Willie, be quiet.
Oh, I don't mind. My father's dead. My mother's remarried.
Well, that's too bad, dear. I always say it's so hard on the children. It just isn't the same with a new parent. John, just one more piece.
No, that's all till next year, Aunt Emmy.
Oh, dear.
I'll play a piece if you want.
Well, that'd be fine.
Can you play?
Well, I used to play a little. What would you all like?
It doesn't make any difference.
I can sing Silent Night.
Now, Willie.
Well, I can.
Silent Night. I think I remember it.
Well, let's all sing it.
Go ahead, Miss Leander.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, from young virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild,
Well, son, time for bed. Oh, gracious, the evening's gone fast. The rest went up long ago.
Mother, wait. There's one thing you must be curious about.
What, dear?
Miss Leander.
Yes?
I don't know whether to tell you this or not, but I don't like to bring somebody under your roof without you knowing exactly who she is.
Oh, John, I think I can guess.
Huh? Oh, no, not at all. This young woman isn't even a friend of mine.
Well, she certainly should be. I think she's charming.
She is charming, Mother.
She
but-
reminds me of your father's cousin, Winifred. I was saying to Emmy tonight.
Wait a minute, Mother. The girl's a crook. I'm going to put her in jail when we get back to New York.
What?
But in the meanwhile, she had no place to go for Christmas.
Why, the poor lamb. You'll do no such thing, John Sargent. Why, that girl's as honest as all outdoors. I can tell by just looking at her face. If she did take some little thing, well, I'm sure it was entirely by mistake. She's probably a hypochondriac.
Yeah, she might be at that, Mother.
She hasn't really taken things now, has she, dear? You're just making a bad joke, aren't you?
No, Mother. And I'm afraid this isn't even her first offense. But that doesn't mean she wasn't unhappy and lonely and a human being like the rest of us.
Well, the poor thing probably didn't get enough love as a child. Do you remember how bad you were? Well, you weren't really bad, but do you remember the time you took my egg money I was going to get a new dress with, and then how hard you worked to pay it back when you understood?
You made me understand.
No, dear. It was love that made you understand. Well, I do hope she enjoys her stay here. Do you think we ought to lock up the silver?
No, I don't think it's necessary.
Good night, son.
Good night, Mother.
Oh, look at all them presents, John.
Beautifully. Look at this. And my dear, I've never seen so many presents in all my life.
Here's another one for you, Mother.
For me?
We always open our presents on Christmas Eve, Miss Leander, ever since John grew up.
Oh, John, another bottle of perfume. Ecstasy, too. Well, I haven't even started on that bottle of ecstasy you gave me last year.
Lucy.
What? Oh.
Well, gee, we've got all our stuff open, and, well, I'm sorry about the present situation, Miss Leander. If we'd only known sooner.
Well, John, there's some presents for Miss Leander over there on the sofa.
Huh?
Of course, Jack. You must have forgotten.
Oh, well, I guess you can always trust Santa Claus. 3 packages, Miss Leander. Merry Christmas.
Oh, no. Oh, you shouldn't have gone to all that trouble.
Open them up now, dear.
Oh, what a lovely pincushion. Oh, it's so pretty.
Nothing at all, just scraps and things I've been collecting for years.
Here's the next one. A very Merry Christmas to Miss Leander from Jack's Aunt Emma. Well,
Stockings. Oh, thank you so much.
Bed socks. Not so fancy, but wonderful on a cold night for a spinster lady.
Oh, it's awfully sweet of you all.
Here's another, Miss Leander.
Not really.
Who's that from, Willie?
Oh, it's from you big dunce.
From
Can't
me?
you remember anything?
Well, but I
Richard Six, Jack. Keep quiet.
Perfume. Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's nothing. Just a bottle of perfume.
And ecstasy, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you're all much too kind. I don't think I've ever met anyone so thoughtful
Oh,
and...
nonsense, child. We're so happy to have you and so anxious for you to enjoy your stay. Of course, there isn't much to do here, except tonight we're having a caroling party, and Thursday's the charity bazaar, and we have a treasure hunt on Friday, and then we start resting up for New Year's Eve.
See, that's all there is. You know, farmers' wives don't die of boredom anymore. They die of heart failure.
Emmy, I do declare this is the best caroling we've ever had.
Yes. They look nice together, don't they?
Who?
Jack and Miss Leander. Like they was made for each other.
Now, if you're hinting that John's in love with her, well, he isn't, Emmy.
Fiddlesticks, Lucy. Fiddlesticks. She's in love with him, too.
I tell you they're not. You don't know anything about these things, Emmy. They're not in love. They just can't be.
You tired, Lee?
Oh, no, it's wonderful.
Well, just the same, we'd better get along home. We've got a long week ahead.
Long. I imagine it's going to seem pretty short.
Don't go away, folks. Stay right in the hall. It'll be New Year's in just about a minute.
It's almost over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost over.
Second will be one day nearer.
The second? Oh, you mean that second?
When my case comes up again.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it.
I have. But you've all been so sweet. No matter what happens after we get back, it won't matter so much. I'll have some wonderful memories.
So will I.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to wish you all a very happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Lee.
Happy New Year, Jack.
You know, it's an old-fashioned custom, but people always kiss each other, well, at this time.
I know it.
Well, what am I waiting for?
I don't know. Why are you? Just a minute. Oh, Mrs. Sargent.
I'm sorry to disturb you, Miss Leander, but you'll be in such a rush in the morning.
Oh, you're not disturbing me. Come in.
Thank you. First of all, I want you to know how glad we are to have had you here and how much I hope you've enjoyed your stay.
Oh, you'll never know how much.
And then, well, I want you to know how sorry I am you're in trouble and how much I hope it'll all come out all right.
Oh, I didn't know you knew about that.
Oh, you poor child. You can be sure I never would have mentioned it now, only... Well, has Jack ever told you anything about his childhood?
No. Why?
We were very poor after my husband died. In fact, we had nothing. Jack had to do the chores before school and after, and then after the chores, he studied in the evening so he could go to college. And then he had to work his way through college and through law school. Oh, I don't mean there's anything unusual about it. I'm only trying to tell you that he worked very hard to get where he is. Very, very hard, and he's my son. And I wouldn't want anything or anyone to spoil it for him now.
I see. But I don't see why anything should spoil it for him, do you?
He's in love with you.
Oh, but he isn't in love with me. He's never had any more interest in me than some panhandler he'd buy a meal for.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
He kissed you tonight.
Well, I'm not ugly. Oh, he might have had a little fever for me, but it isn't going any further. Hasn't been any place either.
I see.
He's no fool. Even if he was, I wouldn't hurt him. Or you, or Aunt Emmy, or even Willie.
Thank you, my dear. And good night. But you do love him, don't you?
I'm afraid so.
I knew you did. Good night, my dear.
We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. After a brief intermission, Mr. DeMille presents Act 3 of Remember the Night, starring Jean Arthur and Fred McMurray. But now, let's look ahead to that magic moment on Christmas Eve. When the Christmas tree stands fragrant in the corner, the star gleams at the top.
Now, John, let's turn on the tree lights.
Oh, Mommy, it's beautiful, beautiful. Just like a tree in the fairy story, covered with snow that doesn't ever melt.
Yes, a fairy tale tree with frosty snow on its branches. Snow that will stay white and lovely right in your living room for the whole holiday season. Because it's made from the same pure white Lux Flakes that you use for washing all your pretty things. It's so easy to make this Lux Snow. Here's what you do. Empty a large box of Lux Flakes into a big bowl. Gradually, add to it 2 cups of warm water, beating the mixture with an egg beater until it looks like rich whipped cream.
Then you pick it right up in your hands and spread it along the branches with your fingers, so it looks just like real snow.
If you like, you can sprinkle some shiny artificial snow on top of the Lux Snow while it's still damp, so it will catch the light.
We put some of the Lux Snow on the reeds in our windows, too. And I made a stunning centerpiece for our table. Pine branches covered with Lux Snow in a low vase and hung with tiny ornaments we hadn't used on the tree. It makes our dining room look so Christmassy.
Oh, Mommy, let's put some snow branches on the table in the front hall.
I think that would be lovely.
Particularly lovely if they're in front of a mirror so you can see their reflection, too. Now, remember, to make Lux Snow for your tree or table decorations, use 2 cups of warm water to each large box of Lux Flakes. Beat the mixture with an egg beater until it looks like thick whipped cream. Then spread it with your fingers along the branches. Be sure to get the large-size box of Lux Flakes and ask your dealer for printed directions for making Lux Snow. Now, Mr. DeMille returns to the microphone.
The curtain rises on the 3rd act of Remember the Night. The holidays are over, and Jack Sargent is taking Lee back to New York to stand trial for robbery. The road takes them across the border into Canada. And there, Jack brings the car to a sudden stop.
What's the idea of stopping?
Lee, do you know where we are?
Of course, we're in Canada.
No, you don't get it. Look, this is Canada. Over there's the United States. Stay here. Don't go back.
Stop talking nonsense.
It isn't nonsense. I'm not a policeman. I can't make you go.
Is your conscience gnawing at you?
What do you think it was when I got bail for you?
Oh, that seems like 80 years ago. I didn't even know you were against me. Oh, I knew you were supposed to be trying to put me in jail, but you were so gentle about it.
Yeah, that's part of the technique. If you don't treat a woman with kid gloves, every man on the jury wants to punch you on the nose. And you have to handle a jury with kid gloves, too, or you'll get it right in the verdict. You know, it's very hard to put a woman in jail, no matter what she's done. I'm supposed to be kind of a specialist at it.
Oh, no, you're not.
Sure I am.
You're just trying to make me hate you, so you won't feel too bad when you give me the business, aren't
Look,
you?
are you going to stay in Canada?
A fine district attorney you are, telling me to jump bail.
You know I love you, don't you?
Don't say that.
And you love me.
No.
I suppose that's why you've looked at me the way you have and kissed me the way you did. And why your hand has always found mine and mine has always found yours when they were anywhere near each other.
Jack, don't be a fool. You've got to remember how hard you've worked to get where you are. You've got to think of the hours and the days and the years you spent getting through college.
Your
And
mother's been talking to you.
why shouldn't she? She's got everything to be proud of. And you've got to be proud and think about it, too, instead of telling people to jump bail and falling for the first pair of pretty eyes.
Please, I love you.
Oh, Jack,
I love you.
darling, it'll be awful hard to lose you.
You know what I wish?
What?
I wish the case was over and you'd been acquitted.
Then you shouldn't have had it postponed.
Well, that's true. But if I hadn't, I'd never have met you.
It's true.
So the case is dismissed and you've been acquitted.
Knockwood.
And I pull out a marriage license.
Oh, gee.
And we march right into the judge's chambers and have him marry us.
You know you're talking like a madman, don't you?
Yeah, sure. Come on, let's go.
Jack, the courtroom's less than a block away. Or don't you care if the jury and the rest of them see you with me?
Oh, so I'm not good enough to be seen with you, huh? You don't love me anymore.
I never loved you.
Aha, were you just toying with me then?
Oh, shut up.
You'll have to develop more courtesy and respect for your future husband, or I shall fall back on strong measures. A woman, a dog, a hickory tree, the better you beat them, the better they be.
I'll quit, will you?
All right.
I can't argue with you. Imagine being married to a man who argues for a living. But you know all this isn't right. Can't you see the papers? District attorney marries girl crook. I'd only hurt you, Jack.
Yeah, but you won't be a crook. You'll be acquitted.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know, but I think you've got a good chance.
You wouldn't do anything to make them acquit me, would you?
What could I do?
I don't know, but you could throw the case if you...
Well, listen, you're being charged by a judge and a jury. You're being tried by a judge and a jury. They know the facts and they speak for themselves. There's nothing I can do about it. Not a thing.
I hope there isn't. It'd be a fine thing, wouldn't it?
Now, don't worry. So long, darling. I'll see you in court.
You may proceed, Mr. Sergeant.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will if this jury will let me. They've been mumbling to themselves all morning.
I'll take care of the jury, Mr. Sergeant.
Thank you. Now, Miss Leander, I believe you have testified that you were hypnotized at the time you left the jewelry store and walked up Fifth Avenue. Didn't you?
I...
Did you or didn't you? Answer the question, Miss Leander.
Well, my lawyer said so.
Oh, your lawyer said so. Are we to understand, then, that you and your lawyer do not agree as to exactly what happened?
Don't answer that question. Object, Your Honor. The question's entirely improper, and I ask it be stricken from the record.
Sustained. The jury will disregard the question.
I was only trying to... Your Honor, those jurors are at it again. If they'd listened to the testimony rather than whispering among themselves...
Proceed with the case, please.
Well, you can't hear yourself think. Well, Miss Leander, were you hypnotized or weren't you?
I suppose I...
We don't want your suppositions. We wanted to know whether or not you were hypnotized.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I guess I was hypnotized.
You guess you were hypnotized. First you suppose you were hypnotized, now you guess you were. Kindly remember you're under oath. You know the penalty for perjury?
Object, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Tell me, Miss Leander, just how many times have you been hypnotized by beautiful jewelry?
I guess quite a lot of times.
Did you hear by any chance Dr. Kindmet's opinion concerning hypnotism? Well?
I'm trying to think.
You don't treat a woman with kid gloves. Every man on the jury wants to punch you on the nose.
Oh.
Will the witness please answer my question? And will the jury please stop mumbling?
Jack, you...
And you have to handle the jury with kid gloves, too. You'll get it right in the verdict.
He's my son.
It's all right, Miss Leander. Just take all the time you want.
He's worked so hard. I wouldn't want anything to spoil it for him now.
Well, Miss Leander?
Nothing must spoil it for him.
Well, Miss Leander, what is it? What is it?
Your Honor, I object to the tactics being pursued by the district attorney. He's harrying the defendant.
No, wait. Wait, I want to plead guilty.
Your Honor, I don't believe this young woman is well. I request a 5-minute recess.
I want to plead guilty.
Your Honor, it must be perfectly
Your Honor,
apparent
a
that
few
the
minutes
witness has
recess,
been made
please.
hysterical
She's
by
obviously not responsible for what she's saying.
Why do you wish to plead guilty?
Because I am guilty. You see, when you work hard for something and promises are made, you just can't toss it away no matter what.
Your Honor, it must be perfectly clear now that this is not normal behavior.
Perfectly clear, of course. And the state has no desire to take advantage of a temporary
There
aberration.
isn't anything temporary about this. Your Honor, you can see I'm in my right mind. I plead guilty.
You leave me no other alternative. The court at this time will fix January 7th at 10 a.m. as the day for passing sentence. The prisoner is remanded to the city jail. The jury is dismissed.
Mr. Sergeant to see you, Miss Leander.
All right.
This way, Mr. Sergeant. 10 minutes.
Thanks.
Hello?
Do you know what you've done?
Yes.
Do you know it can't be undone?
Yes.
You understand, there's no appeal. Nothing but jail.
How long will I get?
How do I know? Maybe not very long, but if you'd kept your trap shut, you wouldn't be in here at all.
There wasn't anything else to do. You're so strong and you argue so well. And I love you so much.
Yeah, you certainly proved that.
I'd always do what you wanted, even if it wasn't good for you. I'd never have a chance against you. You'd never have a chance with me, like just now, when you were trying to lose the case. Aren't you ashamed?
Stop it. Oh, I know what you were trying to do. Save little Jackie's career from the bad, bad woman. Don't you think I'm the best judge of what's good for me and what I want most in this world?
No.
And while you were making your big gesture, did you stop to think how much you'd be hurting me? Do you think I'll stop loving you just because they lock you up with a bunch of hoodlums and hopheads for the next few years?
I'm not much better.
Well, you were good enough for me.
Will you come and see me?
Come and see you. I'm going to send for the judge and marry you right this minute.
Oh, no. Thanks. But if you still wanted me afterwards, you'd be a sucker if you did. But if you did, it wouldn't be the same. I'd be all square, and you'd have plenty of time to think things over.
I don't have to think, Lee. I'll be waiting for you. No matter how long it is, I'll be waiting.
Jack, will you stand beside me and hold my hand when I'm sentenced?
You know I will.
Then I won't be afraid. It'll be kind of like a marriage at that, won't it? You see, the other part won't be so bad or so long. With your voice always in my ear, your smile always before my eyes, and the feel of your hand always in mine.
Lee.
I love you so. I love you so.
Mr. DeMille will bring our stars back to the microphone in just a moment for their curtain calls. And now it's nearly time to trim the trees, to light the Christmas candles and hang the Christmas stocking by the chimney with care. Well, here's hoping Santa tucks into them the very things that you want the most. We've learned that one of the things most of you ladies want the most to find tucked in your Christmas stocking is stockings. And if you're lucky and Christmas brings you some precious silks and nylons, you'll treasure them, I know. That means giving them the care over 90% of the makers of stockings recommend, Lux Flakes. Nightly luxing saves the elasticity that keeps filmy stockings from breaking into runs so easily. Helps them fit better, too. You know, it's downright extravagant to risk cake soap rubbing or soaps with harmful alkali. These weaken elasticity, and runs pop sooner. And now, for this Christmas, lots of luck to you. And for your precious stockings, lots of Lux. Now, here's Mr. DeMille with our stars.
Our stars are in the spotlight again as they take a curtain call. And those special guests we told you about, Bob Hope and Rita Hayworth, will join us in a moment. But right now, we give our best grade A salute to Jean Arthur and Fred McMurray.
Thank you, Mr. DeMille. And may I be the first to wish you and your audience a Merry Christmas?
I'll second that wish, C.B.
The same to you. And I know I speak for our audience.
There's something else that goes with this season of the year that I hope no one will forget. I mean the Red Cross.
American women have always been generous with their time in helping the Red Cross, but there's a special job for the men now, C.B. That 5-letter word, money.
That'll stand repeating, Fred. The Red Cross needs money.
$50 million to be exact, for the Special War Relief Fund.
We all know the need is great, but it must be impressed on us that the time is short. So I hope that everyone will give as much and as soon as they can.
America has never failed the Red Cross yet, Jean. It won't fail them now. But besides money, from what Mrs. DeMille tells me, every local chapter needs help from every woman.
Yes, there's a mountain of work to be done. And the place to volunteer for it is at your local Red Cross headquarters.
Well, I guess everybody is wondering what happened to Bob Hope and Rita Hayworth. Where are they, C.B.?
Right over there, standing in the wings. Come on out, Bob and Rita.
Hello, everybody. Hello, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2.
What goes on here, Bob?
Well, I've been listening to Gene Arthur talk about the Red Cross, so I'm knitting a sock.
One sock? What for?
That's for W.C. Fields. He wants something to wear over his nose during blackouts.
Seriously, I want to tell all of you how much I enjoyed the play tonight.
Thank you, Rita. And we have a very pleasant assignment ahead of us right now. Suppose you explain it, Mr. DeMille.
Gladly. The Hollywood news photographers have asked us to give Bob and Rita an award on their behalf.
Photographers? Oh, that must be a beauty contest. Yes, Rita is lovely, and I presume they finally saw me in Technicolor.
Technicolor. Yes. Yes, your new picture, Louisiana Purchase, is in Technicolor, isn't it? Well, I guess Paramount figured they had to do something. But Columbia didn't have to worry about Rita Hayworth. No, this is not an award for your beauty, Bob, believe it or not.
The truth is, Bob, that the Hollywood news reporters have picked you and Rita as the most photogenerous people of the year in Hollywood.
And they've sent over these silver trophies and asked Gene and Fred and me to present them to you tonight. Naturally, we feel very proud of that. We all know that Hollywood news photographers have helped many young players along the road to stardom. And so an award from them is a coveted honor. On behalf of all these cameramen, to you, Bob, and to you, Rita, we offer congratulations on your photo generosity.
Thank you very much, Mrs. DeMille. Isn't that lovely? It's so pretty and bright.
Yes, and you can always keep it bright with Pepsodent, yes.
Bob, remember where you are.
Okay, Rita. You can use a little Lux on it, too.
Don't soft soap me, Bob. Don't soft soap me just because we're expecting great things from you next week. You see, ladies and gentlemen, next Monday night, the stars of the Lux Radio Theater will be Bob Hope and Hedy Lamarr.
Oh, fine, Bob. What's the play?
The Bride Came COD, Gene.
It's adapted from the Warner Brothers picture. The story of an aviator who kidnaps an heiress. That's Bob Hope kidnapping Hedy Lamarr.
Don't wake me up. Let me dream. Well, we'll see you next week.
Well, sounds like a great comedy, C.B. Good night.
Good night.
Gee, this award makes me feel so good, I want to invite all of you to come with me as my guest for the evening.
No, thanks, Bob. We've already seen nothing but the truth. Good night. Good night. Remember, the night made this a night to remember. On this Monday night every year, we've brought you the Christmas greetings of this theater and the sincere good wishes of our sponsor. We do so again this year. For although these are serious times, that doesn't mean that America won't celebrate Christmas. The very first meaning of this sacred season is a promise of new hope and a new day to come. And so on this 22nd night of December in 1941, America looks with confidence to the day when right triumph and peace on earth shall reign again.